Welcome to Defense Diaries. We were just kidding. We were backstage, still panicking, trying to get everything put together. Made a late dinner, so we're sorry for being late. I am Bob Motta, your host, and this is our continuing coverage of the Donna Adelson case and really the Adelson nightmare that has been going on for now 10 years. And I am once again joined by my beautiful and brilliant co-host, Allie. What's up, babe?
Hey, babe. Hey, all.
Is your mic on? You sounded really low.
Hey, babe. Hey, all.
Oh, there you go. Hi.
Hi. I left my phone upstairs.
All right. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about what we're doing tonight. And we're going to be doing a full primer. And if you're new to the case, if you're not new to the case, if it's a refresher or just straight up learning about it, we're hoping that we'll be able to satisfy all those needs. So where are we at?
So Donna Adelson trial is scheduled to start with jury selection on August 19th. On August 8th, there were some significant pretrial rulings about evidence both sides will be able to introduce to trial. But since Donna's trial is just one of a series of convictions that makes up this long, tangled saga, before we get into the recent developments of Donna's case, let's start with a refresher and go through what the earlier jurors heard at all the other trials and what led to Adelson, the arrest of Donna Adelson, the matriarch of the family prosecutors say orchestrated and plotted the murder of Donna Adelson's son-in-law, Dan Markle, in 2014. But Bob, since you know so much more about the story, why don't you start and give us all that background?
Grandma Gotti. I'm trying to, I'm not sure. Did Jay come up with that, or was that just something that was floating out there? I'm not asking you, I'm asking the chat. For some reason, it seems like Jay came up with Grandma Gotti, but I'm not sure. You know, I'll always credit my boy, though, if he came up with it. I wouldn't put it past him to come up with a fine nickname for Donna Adelson like that. So absolutely, I'd love to get into it. So Dan Markell and Wendy Adelson got married in around 2006, and they were living with their two sons in Tallahassee, Florida, where Dan was a law professor at Florida State University. I've actually met, and I'm saying that through the internet, multiple people that Dan Markell was their actual law school professor. Like, I've met 2 or 3 people, or people that knew somebody that, as a matter of fact, our friend Kat was telling us when we were down in New Orleans that one of her friends,
he was her teacher.
had Dan Markell as one of her law professors. So he was beloved, certainly by his family, and it sounds like by all of his students and his friends. It was a huge loss. But at any rate, so at some point around 2012, Dan and Wendy separate. So herein lies the rub with this case. Wendy's family lives down in South Florida. So we're talking about Charlie, and more importantly, Donna and Harvey, her parents. And as a result of that, Wendy wanted to move down there. And because of that, there turns out to be this enormous custody battle. Now, any of you guys out there that have had the misfortune to go through a custody fight, and especially if it involves removal of the kids, meaning you're trying to move them beyond whatever the statute allows in terms of miles. Like in Illinois, it's 50. State by state, it's different in terms of how far you can take your kids away from the other parent. So this thing is a nightmare. It's a dispute because Wendy flat out wanted to move the kids down to South Florida to be near Donna and Harvey and Charlie, while Dan wanted to keep them in Tallahassee, where his job was. So that custody battle is what the prosecutors say ultimately becomes the motive for the murder, with Wendy's family hiring 2 hitmen to kill Dan.
So how was Dan killed?
So on July 18th of 2014, Dan, rest in peace, was found shot in the head at his Tallahassee home. And that morning, he had brought his children to preschool and then went to the gym. Dan was sitting in his garage talking on his phone when he was shot at point blank range, and then he died in the hospital earlier the next morning. He was 41 years old.
Wow, 41. So how did the investigators piece this all together?
It took a while. I'll tell you that. Like this thing got stale, but initially it started with video surveillance. So what police did initially is they obtained some security footage from cameras near Dan Markel's gym and from around his neighborhood, which showed this light-colored Toyota Prius trailing Dan's cars. He drove home from the gym minutes before he was minutes before the shooting, before he was shot. That Prius was later linked to a guy named Sigfredo Garcia. And also that came along with Sigfredo Garcia was another guy named Luis Rivera. Now, these 2 hitmen who rented that Prius in Miami, that's what they end up discovering, that was a rental. They then figure out who rented it during that time frame. And these 2 geniuses used their own IDs in terms of whoever the rental was. So they're able to figure out who has the car. So once the Prius is tied to Garcia and Rivera, investigators started looking at who they were connected to in Tallahassee and Miami, which eventually points to a woman named Catherine Magbanawa. And turns out Katie is dating Charlie Adelson, Wendy's brother. So you've got your connective tissue right there. You've got Katie knows Sigfredo and Luis, and Katie is dating Charlie Adelson. Charlie Adelson is the brother of Wendy Adelson, who is currently in the middle of a giant custody battle with Dan Markel.
All right. So right there, you've got the connection to both the shooter and to the Adelson family. I mean, what do they do to develop further evidence?
Well, so investigators start digging and they get the phone records, and they're able to uncover phone records that show calls between Garcia, Rivera, and Katie in the days just before and after Dan Markel's murder. So Rivera was already in federal prison and agreed to talk in order to avoid the death penalty. So Luis, he turned state's evidence, and his testimony, which I'm hoping that we can get to a little bit of it tonight, because he was, in my estimation, he was the most powerful witness in Charlie's case. I mean, this dude's like, for being a murdering psychopath, this dude's totally credible. Like you'll see what I mean when we watch it. It's like typically these are the kind of witnesses that, as a defense attorney and the state's putting somebody on like this, you're like, this guy's a murdering psychopath. Like he lies about everything. Well, like, why are you going to believe this guy when you see him testify and you hear him? He's highly credible. He's highly, highly credible. So he flips in order to avoid the death penalty and trial. And then in his proffer, he tells the police that he's the getaway driver and that the hit was for, quote, a lady who wanted her kids back. So that is a pretty broad statement in that it could be either Wendy or Donna.
Right, but at least it ties all of this to a custody battle.
100%. 100%. That is the link between Wendy and Dan and the custody battle and these folks. And he gives more information. He ultimately says that they were paid $100,000 to be split 3 ways between Luis and Katie and Garcia. So like once the money starts flowing, that's obviously going to leave a paper trail, which is really, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but because Luis was cooperating and he was facing life in prison, his credibility, obviously, as I was just talking about, could be attacked. So he had every incentive to shift the blame to others. Now, Georgia, who was the prosecutor, she's no fool. Like this case has been her baby. This series of cases have been her baby for a decade. Like this is a case that she knows in her sleep, literally. She knows every fact. She knows every witness. She knows what every witness is going to testify to. And the way that she's been able to get convictions on wholly circumstantial cases has been really, really impressive. So at any rate, so Georgia knows that they're going to need independent corroboration, tying Charlie and by extension, the Adelson family to the crime without relying solely on Rivera's word.
Ah, so that's when they come up with that undercover sting operation, right? Remind me how that worked.
So you're talking about the bump.
The bump. Yes.
The bump. Yeah. So in 2016, the feds in Tallahassee PD rolled out what's called the bump operation. And that was essentially where an undercover fed approaches Donna Adelson in a parking lot, pretending to be an associate of Luis Rivera, the getaway driver. So the agent hands her a flyer, folded up piece of paper with a $5,000 payment demand and a message that suggests knowledge of the murder for hire plot. So they know, and I'm talking about the feds in Tallahassee PD, like when they're game planning this, there's, okay, if she does this, it means that. Right. So they know.
And the person, although they mentioned like Katie, and I think either Louise or Garcia, but I think you're right, it was Rivera, they don't mention Charlie. So there's no reason for her to be calling Charlie about this.
Right. Right. I mean, like the bump happens with her. Right. So in theory, if Donna's not connected to it at all, and this kind of shocking things happen, you'd probably think that she would call Harvey her husband first.
Right.
I imagine if that happened to you,
right,
and you had not, like killed me, but somebody else, and they thought that you had hired the hit, and this happened, and you had nothing to do with it. Somebody that you were connected to dies, and they like you, but you had nothing to do with it, and you're like, oh my God. Like I imagine you would call me first, be like, some dude like literally just bumped into me and handed me this insane flyer.
Yes.
Demanding cash. So she doesn't do that. She doesn't call Harvey, her husband. She calls her son, Charlie. So that's what they figure. They figure if Donna believes that someone from the hit is actually shaking her down, she will likely call her co-conspirator, Charlie, and that they will monitor that reaction in real time. And sure enough, right after the bump, there are several phone calls between Donna and Charlie, all captured on overhears, aka wiretaps. So within days, Charlie arranges to meet Katie at a restaurant called Dolce Vita, and it's in Miami, nice spot. And the FBI, obviously ahead of time, they
Because
know
they're monitoring their shit.
exactly. They go in and they wire the whole place for sound and video. And what they capture is Charlie and Katie discussing the situation in cryptic but incriminating terms, talking about how to deal with the blackmail threat and who might be responsible. Isn't that funny? That conversation with Charlie. See, Charlie's that dude who thinks he's the smartest fucking guy in the room.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Charlie's that dude who kind of is assuming that they're videotaping this thing, or at least deep in the recesses of his mind, he's thinking that this thing's like a setup, you know?
Right. Well, from all the conversations, it seemed like Katie was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're not thinking either someone's fucking with your family or someone's fucking with mine. Like, you want me to do this on my phone? Like, she's like, you're the one not thinking. But,
Right.
but, this is, I think we got the bump and that recorded conversation at the restaurant. If you want to play those now,
Yeah. Okay.
while you do
Right.
that, I got to run upstairs and get something.
Okay. All right. Let me.
This is that timeline that,
So this is the one that you sent
Katie
me.
put together.
Like this is the one where the jurors see the bump, right?
Yep.
That's the video. Okay. All right. All right.
And I gave you the time. I think it was 9:06.
Okay. Let me get that set up. All right. Pull this up. Bump it up. Should I wait for Ali to come back? Probably. Seems like I should. Okay. Wrong one. Wrong. Let's see. I can hear you. She's still there. She's doing so. She didn't mute herself. I can hear
Oh,
her.
I left.
Oh, did you?
But then when
Yeah.
I came back, it was unmuted.
Okay. Jersey bump order. Okay. Sorry. That was crazy. All right, you guys ready? So I got it cranked up 2 times volume. I got it set for right about exactly where it's supposed to happen. All right, so this is the undercover footage of the infamous bump. There's Georgia Cappleman's head.
Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson? How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen. No, don't be scared. Listen, just want to let you know that we know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Tuco for quite some time after your problem up north has been resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. And we want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuco. Well, this is explain it. Thank you.
That's it.
There's the bump.
So she immediately hangs up and she calls Charlie and she's like talking in code with Charlie, like, um, we've got a problem and does it involve me? Like all sorts of stuff that were incriminating in those phone calls too. But the big thing is this restaurant meeting with Katie that I think you've got for us next, right?
Where did you send it?
You had that.
Oh, of the restaurant? Let me see. I don't know if I had that.
Yes, you were sitting on the couch. You're like, I have it. I was like, all right, so I can stop looking for it. And you're like, yeah.
Are you sure?
Um,
That
hun-
sounds wrong. That sounds wrong. All right, hold
you
on.
said someone doesn't have something special. It's right here.
Oh, but so the problem with mine is that it's like audio. Is
That's
that
all right.
weird?
That's fine.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I had
So,
the transcript, but
all right. So like it's long though. It's long. This has a transcript too.
you want to just read the good parts from
I
the
think
transcript?
maybe it is the video, but maybe initially it's just like you can't see the video. So let's throw it up. I want to put it up and have it at 2. Should we do it? We'll do it at 2 times speed.
No.
It's pretty long. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
how you
kind of
gonna?
the,
All right.
I mean, it's the whole thing. Well, we'll play it at normal speed and see.
No, I mean 1.25, 1.5, but 2.
Okay. All right. Let me throw this up. Okay.
Well, I mean, I think that we can just people if you don't want to play the whole thing, people can just know they were caught talking about this,
No,
yes.
we're gonna play some of it
Okay.
for sure. For sure. That would be crazy not to. Okay. All right. So, and they do transcribe it. All right. So this is Charlie at the restaurant with Katie, and obviously his mom starts calling him as well.
Oh yeah, we
So
don't want to listen to 45 minutes right now.
I told you it was long, girl. There we go.
And then you get all the cockroaches to run out. There's smoke in the house, smoke in the house. And then everyone's running, everyone's talking. You throw a smoke grenade, what do you think? Listen, if that's what it was, it's very smart because that beat them up.
My mom hasn't told my dad anything.
This is Dolce Vita.
My mom hasn't told my dad anything. Well, unfortunately, obviously, if that was a cop, he was supposed to sleep on Dad not even, when he comes home from work, he would say,
Hey,
educate me a little bit, but I'm taking the grandkids to school. And after I dropped them off, she was walking. Yeah, she dropped them off and was walking back by herself. So this person had to be because a lot of times my mom takes her car, drives to the school. This person, her routine, knows who she is. Yeah. Someone may call to the office. My dad works Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, you'd probably either get him on the beach or get him at the office up there. And pay him. Or with my mom, because my dad ain't so much married to none. You never know. So, you don't want to throw some fucking shoot out. I mean, I can say I have a lot of my carry on me. I mean, someone comes up to me. Carry on you right now? I'm going to start carrying one on my back. Like, the whole suit. Someone comes up to me, they're going to be ready to shoot something to do. Someone comes up to me asking me for money in my house. Yeah, and when the fucking police show up, and there's the doctor, there's a whole surgeon standing there with the dead kitty members and the driver. They're not going to come down too hard on me, but I'm not going to talk anyway. I don't know much about drugs.
It's not like some shit going on back to your van. Like, this is actually people are just some actors. They go through trouble because we think he might not out to use his ass and then go away. So I got two options. They're not going away. They wish to go away and never come back. They ain't going away. The trouble they see through. Well, with the beard or with the badge?
I mean, how big of a fucking idiot is Charlie Adelson? Like, seriously.
Pretty stupid.
I mean, pretty fucking stupid. You know, it's like, I'm telling you, and I know you didn't watch much of any of that trot. He was that guy who just thought he was going to outsmart everybody. He was that guy who thought, oh, you know, I'm going to get on the stand and I'm going to fucking voodoo everybody and Svengali everybody into thinking that I'm telling the truth with this insane, just absolutely insane concept in defense that Dan Roshbaum like cooked up that I was telling you about.
Well, and we're going to get to that. So why don't we start with who was arrested and tried first?
So you've heard enough?
I mean, I think that gives people the general gist that they're sitting around talking about this thing right after the cops set up. And I'll put this on because it also has when the arrests were.
Ooh, that's some of Tracy's beautiful work.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so you then wanted me to start discussing.
Yeah, I was saying who was like arrested first, who was tried first.
Okay, well, in terms of, you've got the timeline right in front of you, right? You can go ahead and read that part.
Well, I know, but okay.
I don't understand what you're wanting me to do.
It's like keep going where we left off.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right.
But it was right. It's on here as May 25th, 2016.
All right. Okay. So, let me get back to where we were. All right. So the first thing that goes down, in May of 2016, okay, is that they arrest both Catherine and Garcia. Katie and Garcia, the other hitman. So Sigfredo's the trigger man. All right. And at least that's what they've always said. And if we're to believe Luis, right? He always said, I was just driving the car, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sigfredo, he was the dude. He was the one who did the hit. So those two are arrested. And it was really big news, obviously, because they had finally gotten movement on the case. And they ultimately are tried together in 2019. So you have your typical delay, you know.
Well, the thing is, they also took a long time to get the case together, more like a federal case would, because they had a lot of this pretty quickly, like the timeline and like the rental car records, the phone records, connecting them, some bank records with money bank into her account. But like they waited to build it up and to do this whole bump thing. So yeah, typically that's a pretty long delay from May till 2019 till trial. But yeah.
Well, I mean, when you think about the fact that the hit of Dan takes place in 2014, and then they finally make the arrest in 2016, and then you've got another 3 years before these two are tried.
I mean, if they had arrested even Garcia earlier, they would have never been able to pull off the bump. Obviously, if they had arrested
100%.
Katie, but right.
Yeah, I mean, it had the dominoes had to fall in this order. Like, I mean, when they're looking at it and they put together kind of this whole concept of, okay, well, these guys aren't just randomly killing Dan Markel, right? Like, there's a reason why they did it. They put together that it's custody thing. They know their end game is to get to the Adelsons.
Right.
They need to arrest them and get, hopefully one of them flips, which one of them did. The other two decided not to, which you know, and I do want to play some of Luis's testimony.
We
As
will, because we're about to get to Charlie's. Just tell us what
okay.
happened at the first.
So they're tried together. Rivera testifies about the hit and the money paid, and Jeff Lacoste is a guy that dated Wendy, and at that point during that trial, he was actively dating Wendy. So he testifies that Wendy told him that Charlie had, quote, looked into a hitman days before the murder. So the state's financial analyst shows Katie's cash deposits spiking right after Dan's murder. And here's where Donna Adelson's name takes center stage. Those deposits that caused the spike in Katie's bank account match a series of handwritten checks from a little place called the Adelson Institute.
That's a dental.
That's a dental spot.
Right.
So that is obviously owned by the Adelson family. And who cuts the checks for the Adelson Institute?
Donna Adelson.
Donna Adelson. So, but the defense argues that all of those payments were for work that Katie did in the Adelson's dental office. So ultimately, Garcia is convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy, while Katie's case ends in a 10-2 hung jury. So years go by. So another 3 years go by, and the state retries Katie. And this time, the state is able to establish that Katie never actually worked at the Adelson dental office. So those payments were just disguised installments for her role in the murder for hire. And Katie, in that trial, is convicted on all counts, which include murder, conspiracy, solicitation. And she ends up getting life plus 2 30-year terms.
Damn. So next is Charlie's trial, right?
Next is Charlie. And there's not nearly the gap. So once they got those two dominoes to fall, once they get Katie, because the Katie-Charlie connection is just too much, right? It's like Charlie's going down. So Charlie's trial happens in 2023. And in that trial, the prosecution brings in everything that they had building for all these years. The money trail, the phone records, and their crown jewel, the 2016 bump recordings.
So tell us, give us a general overview of who testified for the state, and then you can pick your highlights to play.
So first and foremost, Katie testifies, and she tells the jury that Charlie planned the hit, that he used her to connect him with the shooters, and that the 100,000 came from the Adelson family. They also had Luis testify again, the cooperating hitman and, well, getaway driver. And he repeats that the job was, quote, for a lady who wanted her kids back. And he adds a lot more detail about the conversations tying Charlie to the plot. And then, of course, they have detectives from Tallahassee and feds who testify, and they walk the jury through the bump setup, how they got the recording, and how the phone and the money patterns matched the timeline of the murder. And then they also put on the forensic analysts who tied together the cell phone tower data, the Prius surveillance footage, and the cash deposits to show a super, super tight chronology.
All right. Well, what was Charlie's defense?
So Dan Roshbaum was lead counsel, and he comes up with this insane defense that he plays all the way through to the end. Like the amount of work that he had to do. And like the debate when we're watching that trial, Babe, was whether or not Dan actually thought this is what happened. Because he comes across as very earnest. Like, so the debate becomes, is this what Charlie fed to Dan Roshbaum? Which you have to assume, right?
Yeah. I mean, of course,
Charlie
couldn't have put him on the stand otherwise, unless he's just like a completely complicit. You're like,
Exactly.
all right, I'm going to come up with some scheme to get you
Right.
out.
Right. Just let me come up with the defense and then I'll tell you what to say.
Like you said, this guy thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, so he is feeding it to his lawyer like that's what happened. And you know what? It, in some world, like if you didn't have all these bump videos or recordings, it could possibly be conceivably possible. I mean, pretty far-fetched, pretty coincidental.
Yeah, I mean,
But God, you didn't explain it. What did he
right.
what did he say?
So Charlie, as we've just discussed, ends up taking the stand in his own defense. And his story was that he's paying Katie because Luis Rivera and Sigfredo Garcia were blackmailing him and that they were threatening to frame him for the murder of Dan Markel unless he paid up. So,
Like,
but
we did it, but we're gonna frame you if you don't pay us.
right, like that was their plan. They're like, all right, we're gonna figure out some dude that somebody else would have a motive to kill. We're gonna kill him, and then we're gonna frame some people that have a bunch of money that we're gonna flip on them, and we're gonna go in and give a proffer and rat these people out unless they pay us. So that was their big plan to get paid. That's essentially the defense.
All right, so why don't
It's a
you
great plan. It's a great plan, right? It sounds good on paper. The
Yeah.
problem is that Charlie has to get cross-examined. So Georgia hammers Charlie that he never once went to law enforcement about this supposed extortion. And Charlie's thing was, I was afraid to. I thought if I went to law enforcement, they would kill me or my family. So, but Georgia just kept hammering away, not in the days after the murder, not in the years before the bump, not ever. And they pointed out that the payments line up with the killing, not with any sudden threat. And that Katie tells the jurors ultimately that the extortion claim was completely made up. So the jury saw the extortion story ultimately as a cover, and especially with the recordings in the background at Dolce Vita, and he gets life plus 60. He's convicted.
All right. Did you want to play some highlights from that trial?
I think we should. I think
All
we
right.
should. I think we should because there's some good stuff. All right. So this is the first. So the first guy I want to put up is Sigfredo Luis, because he's like behind for being like a murdering psychopath. He's probably my second favorite witness of a trial under Woody. He's that good. He's that good. All right, so let me pull him up. And this is kind of like a highlight reel. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. So let me share the screen.
Jennifer J25, member for 22 months. Nice.
All right. Okay, so I think we should be. I want to keep it at 1.25. Let's see how that goes.
Markel at all during this second trip?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you follow him this time?
Follow him to the daycare and to the gym.
Okay, so if you missed that first question, the question was talking about the times that they started tailing Dan Markel to kind of figure out what his routine was. Okay.
Care and to the gym.
Was there a reason that the murder had to get done on the day it did?
It was just the right thing, the right opportunity, I guess.
Okay. Did you have any information that the victim was going to be leaving town the day after the homicide occurred?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the answer struck?
Yeah, if they're not struck, you need to rephrase your question.
All right. So how did you find out that the victim was leaving town the following day?
I can't remember that good.
Was it from a blog?
Objection, Your Honor.
It's not leading, Your Honor.
Definitely a
Was
little
it from a
leading.
blog?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What blog was that?
The blonde was Wendy.
No, I was
you
saying
mean?
from the computer. Did you?
Oh,
research
no,
it
no,
on the
no,
computer?
no.
Okay, so somebody gave you the information.
Yeah, somebody
A
else.
person.
A person.
And how did you actually talk to the person?
No, ma'am.
Who talked to the person?
Tuto. Garcia.
Garcia talked to the person.
Talk to
All right.
Katie.
Okay, so Garcia got the information from Katie.
Yes, ma'am.
And do we know where Katie got it from?
I don't know.
Okay, were you present when Garcia talked to Katie and found out we
Yes,
got to
ma'am.
do it today?
Yes, ma'am. He was on the phone.
I'm sorry.
They was on the phone speaking.
He was talking to Katie on the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were present for that.
I was in the car.
Who was driving the green Prius on, like, whenever you were following Mr. Markel right before the murder?
Me.
Did you go to, I think you said the daycare. Where else did you go that day?
The gym.
Have you seen the video surveillance from the gym in this case?
I've seen it now.
Yeah, where the green Prius is at the gym. Have you seen that?
I've seen it.
And is that you driving that Prius?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is Garcia in the vehicle as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Did you know whether or not the kids were in the car at the time you were at the gym?
Now he dropped them off. I seen him when he dropped them off in the daycare.
So you actually saw the kids go into the daycare?
Yes, ma'am.
So is it after the daycare that you proceed to the gym?
Yes.
And what about after that?
We followed him to his house.
All right, so did you wait in the car while the victim went into the gym and worked out?
Yes, ma'am.
And did y'all know at that time, like, we're going to do it when he comes out of
No.
the gym, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. Nah.
So you're just following him to see where he
To
goes.
see where he goes.
And where did he go?
To his house.
Did you see the bus video that shows the Prius shortly before and shortly after the homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you driving the vehicle at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us what happened when you got to Mr. Markel's driveway.
Well, he had turned he turned the block before. We kept going, so we went in front of his house. So when he pulled in, we pulled in right behind. I pulled in right behind him.
Is what you're describing, you entered his street from two different directions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you met at did you meet at his driveway?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you pull in behind him, what happens next?
Garcia jumped out and shot him
How many times?
twice.
Where was he standing when he fired the shots?
Right in front of the driver's side, right there by the driver.
Did you see what the victim did during this attack?
He put his hands up.
How was it decided that Mr. Garcia would end up being the shooter instead of the original plan, which was for you to do it?
I was driving. I ain't had no time. He jumped out and did it. He had the gun the whole time.
All right, so either one of you were willing to do it when whoever wasn't driving when the opportunity arose?
Maybe, but it was really his job, so he did it.
You mean why was it his job?
He's the one that was getting paid, but he knew about the whole thing.
Well, you were getting paid too, right?
Yeah,
But he secured the job.
yes, ma'am.
The bus
That's
video that we looked at
He's good at
shows the passenger side, someone in a white shirt moving around a lot right after the homicide. Can you explain to the jury what was going on in the car at that time?
He was trying to hide the gun.
And that's Garcia.
Garcia
Where did he put the gun?
ran on the front in the passenger side, right under the rug.
Okay, what ultimately happened with the gun?
We threw it away
Where?
in the river.
On the way back to South Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where y'all went when you left Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you turn your cell phones back on?
I think we turned them on right away, I think.
After leaving Tallahassee?
Yeah. If I remember, I really don't remember, but it got turned on.
Sometime after the murder, they got turned back on.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember who made the first phone call out of the two of you?
I didn't make no phone call. He did.
Who did he call?
I think he called Katie. What do you call Katie? He
Say
called
that again?
Katie. He called Katie.
He called Katie. And were you able to hear the conversation?
Is it too fast at 1.5? I had it at 1.25.
I thought you had it at normal a second
No.
ago.
No. So this is 1.5. It's pretty fast.
With
Yes,
Katie?
ma'am.
And what was that conversation?
He told everything is done. She's like, I know. And he's like, where the money?
Okay, let me back up just a little bit. How did she know it was done?
I think she got a phone call right away before we did.
All right, but somehow she indicated she knew.
Yes.
All right, and you asked about the money. Did you personally ask about the money, or was that Garcia?
That's Garcia.
What did she say about the money?
You'll get it tomorrow.
Did you get it tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
On the way back from Tallahassee to Miami, did you stop in Pembroke Pines at an ATM machine?
The way back.
Yeah.
I know we stopped.
I'll show you states 39 through 45. Have you seen these before?
That's it. Seen them.
And are these appear to be ATM
Yes, ma'am.
images?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's the date on the ATM images?
7/18/2024.
So if you haven't followed the case ever, that is Dan's mother, Ruth, who has been a massive advocate for her son and has never, ever relented in terms of getting complete and total justice for her son. She's She's an unbelievable advocate. She's an amazing woman. I actually met her at CrimeCon, I think 3 CrimeCons ago. Just a really, really, really impressive, powerful woman.
2024?
I mean, 14, sorry.
All right, that's the day of the murder, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is this the green Prius that y'all came to Tallahassee in?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are these fair and accurate photographs of you in the green Prius on the day of the homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
Permission to introduce and publish states 39 through 45.
Any objections? 39 to 45 are admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Sure.
And I'll tell you what, I could be tough on a lot of prosecutors out there. Georgia Kappelman ain't one of them. Like this is a woman who was dead set on getting justice and did it the right way. Like you said, she treated it like a federal case. She did all of her due diligence. She built a powerful case. I mean, when she ended up losing Katie's first trial, I mean, she waited and she knew what she had to do to get her, and she didn't rush it to trial. She said, you know what? I'm going to build this case up so it's bulletproof, because they're all circumstantial. They're all circumstantial cases. You know what I mean? Aside from the fact that you've got Luis, but he's got all the baggage he comes along with. You know what I mean? So in terms of all the other evidence that she had to build, and, I mean, the proof's in the pudding of the problems with Luis in terms of the eyes of a jury, because there was a hung jury, despite the fact that he testified. Despite the fact that he's testifying that Katie put the deal together, and along with Sigfredo and Charlie, and she
I was even
still,
with the bump video.
yeah.
Publishing states 39. 40, please.
Bloop. Bloop.
Look at that guy.
Who's pictured in this exhibit, Mr. Rivera?
That's me and Garcia.
Who's that in the foreground, closer to the camera?
That's me. I'm the driver.
Okay. 42, please. Under seat.
Garcia.
43, please.
Bloop.
That's the old ATM.
Did you and Sigfredo Garcia go out that night when you got back to Miami?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember where you went?
We went to a bar.
Was Catherine McDaniel with you that night?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know where she went that night?
No, I don't know.
All right. The next morning, is that when you saw her again?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tell us what happened the next morning.
The next morning I woke up, I went to the barbershop, and she went to my house and took the money.
She had the money at your house?
Yeah.
And did you go home and get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go home with some purpose?
Purpose to pick that money up.
Yeah. Were you worried about the money?
I was worried about my baby mama taking it.
You were worried about your baby mama taking it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Jessica, the one we saw in the
Yes, ma'am.
photo? So if she'd seen that money,
If she would have seen it, she would have liked it. But she never seen it.
how much money was in there?
37. I think it was 35, 35.
35,000. And how was it packaged?
All 100 staples.
All $100 bills?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you mean by staples?
They were all stapled. It was $1,000. Each $1,000 staple in the top corner.
All right, so you got 35,000. I think you previously said you got 37. Where did the other two come from?
Garcia gave it to me.
Why did he do that?
She gave it to me.
So he just gave you 2 additional stacks out of his cut?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how much he got versus how much Katie got?
No,
You not remember that?
I don't remember.
Okay, but it added up to 100. Is that what you previously
Yes,
said?
ma'am.
Did you buy anything with your cut of the money?
Just a motorcycle.
See what Julie said? I thought the bump video was about white powder.
I heard she was states 46 and 47.
I'm not gonna lie, so did I when I first saw him, like a bump.
Is that a picture of the motorcycle you bought with the murder money?
And Garcia's.
That's Garcia's. What about 47? Is that your
Yeah.
motorcycle there?
That's mine, yeah.
Okay, and this is
Garcia.
Garcia's. And then what about this Monte Carlo in the background? Did y'all buy that too?
That's Garcia's. You got it.
Did he buy that with the murder money? Or after the murder? Shortly after the murder?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Are these fair and accurate photos of those vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move it. I published 40 and 47.
Get a couple of new
Did
bikes.
you meet with investigator Jason Newland with my office to look at this well, marked as state 63, this exhibit regarding the calls in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And do these initials next to these calls indicate that you've authenticated the voices that are highlighted?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'd ask to move the evidence state 63.
State 63 is admitted.
So you were able to recognize the voices of Catherine Magbanua and Sigfredo Garcia on those recordings?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever had any kind of contact with any member of the Adelson family?
No, ma'am.
During the time that Catherine Magbanua was dating the dentist, were you around her during that time?
I mean, I've seen her a few times.
Okay. And what was the context of, like, what was the occasion that you would see her if she was with the dentist?
Not with him, but I've seen her when she come live for Garcia.
Okay. So if she was doing something related to the kids or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that?
it.
During the times that you saw her while she was dating the dentist, did she ever brag to you about the dentist at all?
No, ma'am.
Did she ever tell you the dentist has a lot of money?
No, ma'am.
The dentist has a safe full of cash in his home?
No.
So do you even know who the dentist is? I mean, do you know who he is here
Never
in the
met
courtroom?
him. Never met him in my life until today.
Well, the
The
dentist
curly-haired fool.
lawyers have indicated that you and Garcia got this idea on your own to come to Tallahassee and kill the professor. Is that true?
No. A good one.
Did
It's a
you
good one.
kill him and then try to get Katie to blackmail the dentist?
No.
Look at you. They're letting these leading questions go.
Yeah.
When you suggested to Sigfredo Garcia on the way up that it would be easier to just do a robbery, would it have been easier to rob the dentist back in Miami than to come up here to do a murder?
I never said nothing about him because I don't know him, but I said, let's go rob the lady.
Right.
Just like that.
If you had known that it was actually the dentist that had the money, would you have been just as happy to rob the dentist?
Absolutely.
Would that have been less trouble than coming to Tallahassee to do a murder?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Lacasse, I want to take you.
All right. So
Right. So he makes a good point. Like, if I just wanted the money, why don't I just go rob them for the money instead of plan a murder and blackmail them for the money?
right.
Actually murder somebody.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I guess the counter argument to that would be that they hadn't gotten the money put together. You know what I'm saying? If the front part of the defense's theory doesn't happen, theoretically, they don't have 100,000 gathered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So
all right.
look through the transcript of this for the word hitman, so we're not listening to 24 minutes.
What do you mean?
So click on more, click on transcript, hit control
Where's more?
down,
Down.
right there,
Where?
right, like right.
Where? I don't see any more here, like with the dots.
No, scroll down.
Okay.
Transcript's going to be somewhere. No, I don't know. There should be at the very top. It should say more somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I mean, we could skip Jeff.
Right. Okay. It's
So-
right after all that little font.
What little font? Like
Right there
this
where your
here?
mouse is. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Scroll all the way down. There's the
Oh, okay.
transcript.
All right. All
Now
right.
control F and find the word hitman.
That sounds super complicated. Do I have to go in the little thing
Just
here?
control F.
Okay. That didn't work. It did
Just
nothing.
typing it. It's going to do something.
Wait,
type-
type where?
Just start typing and it'll work. Hitman.
Oh my God. Did not work.
All right. Jesus.
That did not work, dude. At all. All right. Let's just play a little bit of it. I think they kind of cut out like the germane parts of the testimony.
All right.
So this is Jeff Lacasse, who at this point is no longer Wendy's
Boyfriend.
wait.
He was, I think, at the time of Katie's trial, but I don't know if he is anymore at the time of Charlie's.
Right. He's definitely an ex at the time of Charlie's. All right. So,
Back to July 13th, 2014. This is going to be the Sunday before the homicide that we're here
really
about.
low-key powerful
Full
Did you see
screen.
Wendy Adelson that evening at her residence
screen.
here in Tallahassee?
Yes, after we returned from dinner and a movie, we went back to our residence. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. And at some point that evening, did the issue of the relocation battle that was going on back in the summer of 2013 come up?
It did.
And is that the issue we've already touched on, which has to do with her wanting to move to South Florida with the children and filing a petition to do so in the courts.
That's right. And by extension, the issue of being stuck in Tallahassee.
Okay. And while discussing that issue, did Ms. Adelson make some statements to you about her brother Charlie?
She did.
And what were those statements?
She asked to speak to me confidentially in a very serious tone of voice, told me that Charlie had investigated all possible options to take care of the problem of Danny Markel, including hiring a hitman, which would cost about $15,000. And I later revised that and thought maybe it was $50,000, but the dollar amount was the only thing in question. She definitely said that Charles Adelson had looked into hiring a hitman to kill Danny Markel.
And when did she say Mr. Adelson had looked into hiring a hitman?
When the relocation was denied the previous summer.
Okay. All right. And the dollar amount, so she either said 15 or 50, you're not sure which?
That's correct.
Okay. And when she said this, what was her demeanor like?
She's very serious.
All right. So definitely not the to be confused with the TV joke.
No, I'd heard that joke repeatedly. I knew that joke. This was something very different. This was chilling, a little scary, made my stomach flip. I found it disturbing. The joke was said in a lighthearted manner, and this was not said in that way. This was serious and said confidentially.
All right. Thank you. And I want to, okay, I think we should go from there to the next day, which is going to be July 14th, 2014, the Monday before the murder.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see Wendy Adelson on that day?
Yeah, I can't remember if I contacted her or if she contacted me, but she was excited to see me. And I wasn't so sure about that because the night before we had an awkward conversation at the conclusion of that night. And I told her that she didn't want to do this anymore, that she could just send me a text and I wouldn't, take any offense. We would just, break up. So I didn't get that text. Instead, I talked to Wendy Adelson and she was excited to see me.
All right. So what did you do?
Well, then she needed to call me back. And it went from her enthusiasm about seeing me to let's just meet at yoga tonight, go in separate cars. So there was a real shift in about 30 minutes.
Did you go to yoga?
We did. We went to yoga.
All right. And after yoga, was there a discussion about your relationship and the status of your relationship?
Yeah, a very brief one. I mean, yoga's not a great place to talk, obviously. So while we were sitting there, she seemed very cold, and I kind of got the feeling that it was over, that this was it. So as we walked to the car, I tried to talk to her about the relationship, and that didn't go well. And so I just kind of put up my hands and walked away, feeling sad that this was it.
All right. And as you walked away, was that the end, or was there more conversation after you began to walk
No,
away?
she called out to me, and I walked back towards her. And she was deeply curious. Well, let me back up slightly. During that conversation, she didn't have any interest in spending any time with me for the rest of the week. So it kind of confirmed, this is over.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she called me back, she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday.
And Friday is going to be July 18th, right?
Yes.
And that's the date of the homicide?
That's exactly right.
What were her inquiries of you regarding that date?
I had a trip planned to Tennessee. She was aware that I was planning to leave about 11 a.m. On Friday. I need to get to Atlanta for an early dinner, so with traffic, she knew I was departing at 11. And at the yoga studio in the parking lot, she had asked if I was still going. If I didn't go, why not? What route I would be taking a lot of bizarre amount of interest in that trip that didn't make sense to me at the time, given that she didn't want to spend time with me.
And how does it make sense to you now?
Well, if I had left on my trip at the scheduled time that she had known about for quite a while, I would have driven pretty close to Danny Markel's house about the same time as at the murder in a similar looking car to the suspect vehicle.
What type of vehicle did you drive?
I drove a 2004 Nissan Sentra that was silver metallic gray color.
So pause it a sec.
So
personally, I'm not buying that. You just heard the hitman say we didn't have a scheduled time. We were just waiting until the time worked out. We followed him from here. We followed him from there. So now he's pontificating that she wanted to make sure he wasn't going to be driving in the general area of the house around the general time that the murder was going to occur, when nobody knew when the murder was going to occur. But I guess they're also trying to say she planned to be in the area so that she can confirm it herself.
Well, yeah, and I mean there's a thought out there that she was trying to set this dude up to be the fall guy. like to have him be in the area at the time so that, if shit goes down, he's the jealous boyfriend whose, relationship is on the rocks, and, he's going to take care of Dan Markel, or,
So that she'd move away and live in another area and not be able
with
to
her
date him.
kids.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
when you try to flesh it out, it doesn't really work all
Right.
that
I
well.
thought he was going to say now all of a sudden she wanted to spend time with me on Friday, so she had an alibi. That's where I thought this was going. But I'm sure I have an unpopular opinion, and I'm going to get to it when we get to the emails. But I just don't know that
I am, yeah.
that
Like,
Wendy was the type of person that would be on board with this murder.
yeah, that is an unpopular opinion. Definitely. But, when we get to the emails, I mean, they do really show Donna for what she was, which was the matriarch ruling with an iron fist,
Manipulating, cunning,
all of the
conniving.
things. I mean, there are grandmothers that exist in this world that would go to some pretty great lengths to have their grandkids around them at all times.
I mean, don't take my grandkids away.
All right, let's watch a little more of Jeff. We won't belabor Jeff's testimony because I want to get to
Charlie.
I got kind of a little bit of Charlie, a little bit of
Katie.
Katie, and a little bit of Wendy. So Wendy, I'm sure you're aware, was granted immunity, and Georgia has used her multiple times as a state's witness, which is another weird thing in terms of how that's going to play out if she ultimately is ever able to get enough to charge Wendy. Because it's like most people think, because of common sense, that this was all at the behest of Wendy.
Right.
But you have to think, if Charlie's already down and now his poor mother, who he loves so very much, is now going to go down. At what point are they going to be like, fuck this bitch, man? I'm not like,
Right.
if we're going down, she's going down too. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right. He'd be like, look, if you take my mom off the table, I'll give you my sister.
right. Exactly. So there was this rumor going around, which, as far as I know, was never substantiated. And in a case like this, it would be considered a massive leak in terms of any kind of plea negotiations that are potentially happening. Like last week, there was this rumor that Georgia had made an offer to Donna that if she flipped on Wendy, they'd let her get out on time served. So now that's completely unsubstantiated. And like I said, like any kind of talks that we're having with prosecutors in a big case in terms of potential plea agreements never see the light of day, ever.
I mean, the families hear about it, and so it could get out. But
I mean, but who's the family? You mean
the family of the defendant? I tell my client and his family about.
Okay, but
offers.
her son's already in prison. Her husband's on the burner. He's there's a, because I don't know if you were able to get through it in terms of getting to in depth, but there's this whole thing with Harvey and the birthday present that this was a birthday gift for Harvey. So there's a whole thing about that. So like there's a train of thought. Well, before you poo-poo all the shit, go and dig into it.
Like Charlie said, she didn't even tell her husband about the threat.
Charlie says he loves his good and plenty.
If you had followed your original plans, you would have been passing by the Markel residence or nearby there around the same time as the killers were fleeing.
Yeah, I would have been at Capitol Circle in Thomasville. Sure, I would have been on the same cell tower, for example. I think my life could have been pretty complicated had I taken my original plans.
Oh, that's
right. So you didn't, I guess, take the original plans.
No, I did not. I made a last minute decision the night before to leave Thursday night instead. I had not informed Ms. Adelson about that because we weren't speaking. Actually, no, I don't know that anyone in Tallahassee knew I had changed my plans, just the people at the other end.
All right. So you were actually in Tennessee at the time of the homicide.
I was.
And when we've heard you were called in as a potential suspect and apparently named by Jane McPherson. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Okay, who is that?
That was a friend of Wendy Adelson's, and she was a doctoral student in our program. I had not much of a relationship with her, just a kind of a working relationship. We worked on a couple of projects together, but I didn't know her very well at all.
But someone that knew that you had been dating Wendy.
Yeah, I think she was a confidant of Wendy Adelson's. Yes, for sure.
Okay. So you get called in, and were you able to provide documentation to show that you were in Tennessee and not in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I was excluded fairly quickly because the investigators found Kmart surveillance footage of me at a Kmart in Tennessee using my credit card and my cell phone showing me there shortly after the murder. So it was impossible that I was the shooter.
All right. And then was there also some similar type coincidences around the time of the trip that the killers made in June?
Yes. On June 6th, I had a business trip to Gainesville, and I departed at 11 a.m. on a Friday, June 6th, which Ms. Adelson would have known about by March. So really, I take 2 trips out of Tallahassee in my car the whole spring and summer semester. Both times, him and try to kill Danny Markel.
Okay. Any further contact with Wendy after the yoga date?
We about 10 days after the murder, she reached out to a mutual friend, and we had a few phone calls.
And during one of those phone calls, did you learn about a dinner where Wendy had become ill at the table?
Yes, I did learn about that.
And what did you learn about that dinner?
That she went out to dinner with Charlie for what he called a celebration dinner. He said something to her. She spontaneously vomited on the table.
And this would have been within how much time after the homicide?
Within a few weeks.
Was it specified that the celebration was in reference to Dan Markel's death as opposed to anything else?
Wasn't specified.
But whatever it was, that's the dinner where she vomited.
That's right. That's right.
One moment, please.
All right. So you get the flavor of Jeff Lacoste. I mean, he's
thinks
low-key
he was
powerful.
Yeah, he
Right.
thinks he was the scapegoat.
Right. That Wendy was trying to set his ass up. Like, right. He's going to be the guy that he's the patsy. He's the patsy. All right. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to go to Georgia versus Wendy. So this is her witness. All right. So this is like her witness that she's calling. And it's one of those things where Georgia firmly believes that this is all at the behest of Wendy, and she's having to direct her. Can you imagine how awkward that would be?
Pretty awkward.
Be pretty awkward. All right.
And about what time of day did you speak to him?
What's
It would
the
have been
speed?
right after the repair guys were there, because that's when I called him to tell him, ask him whether I should get the TV repaired or buy a new TV. So
Okay.
it would have been morning.
How long did you talk to him?
I don't remember.
Does 18 minutes sound incorrect?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Did you talk to him about other things other than just the TV?
I really don't remember what else I talked to him about, but probably maybe I would have asked him about his work, or we would have caught up.
Did you happen to mention Dan Markel's plans to go to New York the next day?
I don't see why I would have.
Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at that time?
I don't know if in 2014 I had WhatsApp. Now we use it for all the parent chats at school. So it's everybody seems to have it, but I don't know if everybody had it back in 2014.
What is WhatsApp?
WhatsApp app is
Ask
kind of an
Hank
app you
Brennan.
use for texting.
Oh no, that was Signal.
Do you know if your brother Charlie had it at that time?
I have no idea if he had it at that time.
Did you ever communicate with Charlie through WhatsApp?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if I had it at that time or if I had it later, I probably would have.
Just not sure.
Yeah,
Did you have any contact of any kind with Catherine Magbanua on the day of Dan Markel's murder?
no.
Now, babe, I have a question for you. Okay. Like everything that while you were rolling your eyes while I was setting this clip up, if you're Georgia, okay, and you have her on direct under the stand, she's under an immunity deal, use immunity. Okay. How much are you trying to fish during this particular exam? Because are you trying to serve two purposes? Are you trying to help convict Charlie, but are you also trying to get her to slip up during the direct?
Well, I don't know, because you don't want her to slip up too much, because you can't use what she says right now unless she's going to slip up to something you can then find another source to prove. So I mean, I guess a little of both, but you got to be careful when you've given someone immunity.
Yeah, but I think if it depends on what she says, whether it would fall under a use immunity agreement, depending on the language of the agreement. You know what I'm saying? It's like usually use immunity is like, all right, this is what you're going to testify to because this is what you have previously told us, and this is what our expectation is.
Or it can be anything you testify to can't be used against you, but that doesn't mean they can't go out and find independent evidence of exactly what you say.
Right. So, I mean, because to me, Georgia does a little bit of fishing during this thing. You know, I mean, it's like, it's snarky. It's snarky.
Did you ever communicate with her through WhatsApp?
No, I never communicated with her at all.
All right, let's talk about, well, you communicated with her on the beach.
I saw her in person, but I'm saying I never texted with her, called her. I never communicated via a device other than in person.
Okay. What about when you were talking to your brother? Did she ever get on the phone and speak to you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I want to talk about where you went when you left your residence on the day of the murder. You tried to turn on to Trescott, and then you ended up where?
I went, I was supposed to go to a party that night, a Stock the Bar party. So I went to a liquor store to pick up what they had asked for as the present for their party. So I went to the liquor store, I picked up the alcohol, I stopped, I think I got gas, and then I went to lunch to meet my friends.
And the liquor store purchase appears to have occurred at 12:49 based on the receipt. Do you have any reason to dispute that
No,
timing?
that sounds right.
Okay. And then from there to the restaurant?
Yes.
And where was the restaurant located?
Mosaic, I actually don't remember. I just remember I would go north on Thomasville Road.
All
And
right.
so it was,
And is the restaurant where law enforcement came to speak with you and you ended up going with them to the police station, right?
that's correct.
Speed, babe.
What?
What speed you got?
Do you agree or disagree that there have been some financial benefits to you and your boys as a result of Dan's death?
I disagree.
When did you decide to change the names of your children from Markel to Adelson?
So after Danny's murder, there was a lot of news. It just hit the media and there were news stories everywhere. And Nancy Grace on CNN put pictures of my boys with their faces unblurred, just pictures of them.
Mhm.
And I was terrified. And so when they started school, I started school with my last name, thinking that would keep them safe, that they wouldn't be associated with the murder.
Wasn't the Adelson name in the press just
It
as
was
much
not in
as
the press.
Markel?
Not yet.
Do you agree that you legally changed the kids' names on July 6th of 2015?
That sounds right.
So it was actually a year after the homicide.
A year after.
When was the last time you talked to your mom? Did you talk to her today, yesterday?
I talked to her yesterday.
In her emails, and we referenced one of them while you've been here on the stand, she talks about you giving performances and playing roles. Did you discuss anything about what you would do here today in court with your mother?
Wow. Can't believe they let that slip in.
Were you involved in any way in the plot to kill your ex-husband?
Absolutely not.
Did you know what was going to happen, but maybe not know the details?
I knew nothing.
Is that why you went to the crime scene on the day of the homicide?
I did not go to the crime scene on the day of the homicide.
Do you know who all was involved in the murder?
See what I'm saying?
I think right there, because if she can get her to lie everything she said, then the agreement's going to be gone. So I think
Right, 'cause of
that's
perjury.
right.
So, yeah, it's interesting. But and what you were talking about with like somebody had asked in chat, like what derivative use immunity is. It's like use immunity is derivative use immunity. It just means that the evidence that they may derive evidence from what she tells them. Okay, like she
Right.
could
If
tell
you're
them,
like, well, I buried the bodies at, and you tell them where, they can go
and they
then
find the bodies.
and find your DNA, you're done. They
Right.
don't need what you said because they've got.
Well, I
the
would
body.
argue, is that independent?
That's independent of her
It is?
words.
Well, but they found the bodies because of her words.
Yeah, that's derivative.
I don't know. I don't know. That's like, because transactional immunity is like pretty much full immunity, but I don't know. I'd have to, if they found the bodies based on the fact that she gave the location and then they found, yeah, Google that. Find me some case law on that.
I'm telling
Well,
you.
I learned today, but at the time, no.
Have you ever privately confronted your brother about his role or possible role in the murder?
My attorney has advised me not to have conversations with anyone in my family about the case.
But you had a close relationship with your brother at the time of the murder, right?
I absolutely had a close relationship with my brother.
And how soon after the murder did your lawyer advise you not to talk to your family about it?
In 2016.
Okay, so what about the 2 years in between? Did you talk to him about it then?
I mean, I talked to him about the fact that a murder occurred, but I guess I don't understand the question.
But you never talked to him about the suspicions you raised in the law enforcement interview that your brother might have done it.
No, I did not.
You suspected your brother could have been a part of this, right?
I suspected lots of people could have been a part of
But
it.
he was one of the people, right?
while I was talking with law enforcement for 6 hours, terrified out of my mind, I offered them every possible idea I could come up with.
Right. And one of the possible ideas was that your brother could have murdered your child's father.
I didn't
right?
really believe that was possible.
Was part of the plot for you to be able to have plausible deniability about this?
Absolutely not.
Is it better for both you and your brother if you don't know the details of this?
I don't even understand the question that you're asking me.
When did you first become aware that you might be a suspect in this case?
I mean, as the ex-wife, I assumed I was a suspect from the beginning.
What was your first thought when you were asked if anyone might have murdered Dan Markel for your benefit?
I thought, oh my God, maybe if I hadn't divorced him, he would still be alive. Maybe this is my fault because I complained to the wrong person. Maybe Danny gave a student a bad grade and they came after him. I just was trying to think of who possibly could have wanted to hurt him.
But you didn't say any of that before. I mean, the first thing you said was Charlie, right?
I don't think so.
Page 25 of your interview, line 5 through 15. Do you have any reason to dispute? Page 25, not 5 hours into it. You say Charlie might have done it, right?
Can I see, please?
You may. This is going to be tab 1, page 25.
Babe, do you know if it's a derivative use or just use? Because you're right.
I thought it was straight use, but
Right,
it could
then-
be derivative.
Then if it's straight use, not derivative, then they can go to where you buried the body and dig it up. If it's derivative.
What I say here is that he would never do it. Right under the highlighted part, I say, no, he would never.
Need a copy?
Page 25, line 5 through 15. I mean, my brother, the one, his name is Charlie, the one I'm really close to. He makes a lot of jokes in that taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and then I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay or fix it, or whether I should get a new one. And it was always his joke that, like, he knew that Danny always treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. And you do say you don't think he would do it, but can we agree you brought up his name on page 25 of the interview?
I did.
When asked, would you ever ask someone to do something like this? You say not in a million years. When asked, okay, do you think someone would do this for your benefit without asking you? You say no. And when Isom starts to ask you, what good does it serve? You say, I mean, my brother, the one, his name is Charlie. Isn't that how it went?
This is the transcript, but I think there's also inaccuracies in the transcription.
Oh boy. All right. Do you want the culpable parties held accountable for murdering the father of your children?
Absolutely. I'm grateful they're already in jail.
But not if it's your family.
It's not my family.
I mean, somebody hired him, right?
Not necessarily.
Somebody paid him.
I learned something this morning.
Yeah, me too. You didn't want him held accountable if it was your family members. Didn't you tell law enforcement that?
That's not what I told law enforcement.
What did you tell law enforcement?
I told them that the person who did this should be held responsible and that I had nothing to do with it.
Page 122, lines 7 through 12. If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The investigator says, regardless of who it is, and your answer is, I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother.
But I don't think it was my family.
It's different now, isn't it?
No, it's not different. That's exactly
different
what
today,
I said
isn't
right
it?
here. No, that's
No
not right.
further questions.
Yeah, that. She just like that. That's a very tough direct examination for her.
And we're going to get to the emails that she was referring to once we shift gears and dig in deeper to Donna's case. But the mom kept telling her, you need to act, you can act. I know you can act, you can do it. You can put on a show. I know you can. So, and that's what that little nod was to. And I see, people in the comments saying she's great. She's a great actress. And everyone says it was both use and derivative use. So I guess in that situation, then where if you say I hid the bodies here and then they dig them up, no, that would be derivative.
Right. Well, that's what I was talking about. That's what I said. I think that would be covered. But all right. So this
Straight use.
is, yeah. I said derivative use. So
Yeah, you did.
all right. So this is fun. So this is the cross of Charlie. So it's a good time. We'll have a good time with it.
Did you have any input on the decision to change the boys' names from Markel to Adelson?
Absolutely not.
Do you and Donna have to protect Wendy?
No.
Does Wendy appreciate everything you and Donna do for her?
You got to ask her. I mean, she's my sister. I love her. I try to give her my best advice I can. If I care about her, and I give her my advice, whether she takes it or not, is up to her. She's a grown woman.
Let me ask it another way. Do you feel, or isn't it true that you don't feel that Wendy appreciates everything you and Donna do for her?
My sister had no idea what I've been through in the last, God knows how many years, and I wake up worrying, am I going to get killed? Am I going to get arrested? And she knows none of it. She's just going around her life, and I had somewhat of an innate anger towards her. Probably unjust because she didn't know what happened. But yeah, I was upset.
And weren't you saying on the wire that she doesn't appreciate what you and Donna have done for her?
I don't know if I said that she doesn't appreciate what I've done for her because I never did anything for her.
Okay, so that was my next question. What have you done for her? Nothing?
Other than give her advice and care about her. Big brother that loves her.
Would you say Wendy's a little bit spoiled?
In some regards, I mean, she gets a lot of help for sure.
Is she a little less savvy about how the world works than you are?
I don't know. I mean, you got to ask her.
Could you trust Wendy with a secret that could ruin your life?
It's not a secret. It's something that would get me killed. So I didn't want to tell her.
Can we agree that she obviously knew something about this crime?
She found out when she came to court. I never told her anything.
I'm talking about the murder of Dan Markel. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
You're talking about the route that she took that day?
I'm talking about her pulling up.
I mean, the whole TV, you heard about the whole TV thing, right? The TV repairman bullshit. Did you read about that? That was their code.
Whose code?
Like the Adelsons. I'm getting you a TV repairman to take care of your TV problem.
But to Wendy or to Donna?
Well, to Wendy.
To Wendy?
Yeah, they were always talking about the TV repairman, and then Donna's setting it up. Oh, Donna called the fucking Best Buy and set up an appointment for the TV repairman to call. Like they're.
I didn't know that.
That's back. Like, I mean, you can go buy a 50-inch TV for $300. Like who the fuck's back then though? TVs were a couple grand for a big TV, couple $3,000, depending on how big you get, right? So I mean, back then. Like now, it's just absurd.
But they weren't asking for. Oh yeah, they were asking for 5,000. So they mentioned that to Wendy, that mom's going to buy you a $5,000 TV.
Well, yeah, I think that was said to Charlie.
Okay,
like we have a 5,000. We're talking about a 5K repair bill here.
Right, but not to Wendy.
To Charlie. No. But the talk about the TV repairman joke,
yeah,
definitely involved Wendy.
Huh.
Like there was a joke that he said, oh, it'd be cheaper to get a hitman than a TV repairman or some shit. Like there was somebody in chat knows exactly what the was it a 32-inch? That's hilarious.
But I just want to make sure it does not sound like, other than him saying this joke, you're saying they said it would be cheaper to buy a TV than a hitman or whatever.
He was flipped.
Right. But they were not saying coded messages to Wendy about a TV.
No, like they've never been able to lock her in. Like they've never been able to get her. I mean, she would have been tried. Like they would have done Wendy before Donna, I would imagine, if they were able to. If they've got the goods on her, you go after Wendy next.
Brooklyn says the TV repairman was the alibi for Wendy. I know there was an alibi about going to Best Buy, but that was Donna's. I thought Donna said she was at Best Buy.
No, Donna, from what I know, she set up an appointment with Best Buy for like the Geek Squad, or like a repair thing, in order to make it seem like it was a real thing, like the TV really needed fixing.
Okay.
Up to the crime scene tape.
She never went to the crime scene. She was going to buy a bottle of liquor that coincidentally the person sent her a stock to bar party for buy a bottle of bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene. And I think she made that clear too. Nobody knew a murder was taking place.
She pulled up to the crime scene tape, Dr. Adelson.
She didn't pull up to the crime scene tape. She was driving down the street and then had to make a U-turn and was blocked off. But she wasn't going to.
She couldn't help herself.
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
That nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot, and they were asking her who would want him dead, and she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.
Well, she said yours in the first 25 pages of a 5-hour interview. Isn't that true?
I wasn't there for the interview.
But you've reviewed it in preparation for your trial, haven't you?
I actually don't know if I've seen her interview.
There was a lot of questions of you about, didn't you do this murder with Wendy? Doesn't the state think you did this murder with Wendy? Are you familiar with your charges in this case?
Yes, I'm very familiar with the charges.
Right. And who are you alleged to have done this murder with?
I'm alleged to have done this murder with my sister, my mom, and my dad.
Would it refresh your recollection to review a copy of the indictment in this case?
I'm a slow reader, but I can read it if you want.
May I approach your
What, is it not what he just said?
This is the official charging document in your case, Dr. Adelson. What does it say in reference to who you are alleged to have committed
That's
the
not
murder
evidence. This is, where's the objection? My Lord.
What day is this?
The charging documents are not evidence.
I think I did a murder with Katie.
Catherine Magdalene?
Yes.
Anybody else?
Give me a minute, I'll read. Now they got Luis Rivera in here. They got Sigfredo Garcia.
As being alleged to have committed the murder with you?
Did I read it too quick?
Yeah. I don't understand. But she's now trying to say those guys didn't commit the
Should just be at
murder?
the very top of each charge. On or about July 18th, 2014, did unlawfully.
Okay. Yeah, Katie. Yeah,
Okay. Are you mad that Wendy hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
Do you have any innate anger with Wendy over that fact?
No,
She
not at all.
just said no.
Are you pissed that she told all that stuff to Jeff Lacoste?
I don't think she said that to Jeff, but I wasn't there.
How did Lacoste know about the celebration dinner?
That we went out to dinner, she got sick, so she may have told someone that she threw up.
And then what? He just added the part about you referring to it as a celebration?
I never referred to it as a celebration dinner. I picked my sister up. I said, "Where do you want to go to eat?" She said she wanted pizza or sushi. I said, "I know a great sushi place." We went there. We didn't have reservations. We ended up sitting at the bar for an hour waiting for our table. She had 2 drinks and got sick.
She vomited on the dinner table or at the dinner table.
Yeah, she got her to the bathroom. But yeah, she doesn't drink alcohol. So those 2 drinks, and I think on an empty stomach, I think she got really sick. But there was no celebration dinner. It was the first time that she actually really left the house since she got back from Tallahassee. She was devastated.
Did you say something to her about the murder of Dan Markell right before she vomited?
Absolutely not.
Do you remember what you said right before she vomited?
She was probably, I think she said, "I don't feel well." And I said, "Oh no," and then she threw up.
Before that?
No, I think I said, "Oh no," and then she threw up.
Before she announced that she was going to be ill?
Right.
Do you remember what the conversation was?
Just how's the food? I mean, we were probably about halfway through dinner. If you look at the timetable, we weren't there long.
Why did you brag to Jeffrey Lacoste about your connection to the Cuban criminal element?
I never said that to Jeff Lacoste.
So he's making that up?
If he said it, I never said it to him.
Well, you were in here when he said it, weren't you?
I heard him say it, yeah. But I never said that to him.
On one of these calls, and it's in the context of talking about Dave and Wendy's relationship with Dave, you tell your mom that you've already gone above and beyond for Wendy. Was that a reference to having her ex murdered?
No, that's me getting tired of this Dave stuff. I mean, Dave's a great guy. I mean, everyone who meets him likes him. He's not only super successful, but he's very low key, like t-shirts and jeans kind of guy. And he loves my sister's kids. I mean, if you listen to The Wire, the point I was making is not how successful it is. The point I was making is that my nephews farted on him, and he thought it was funny and didn't bother him. And he also has 3 young kids, the same ages as my sister's 2 young kids. They actually met in line when my sister was registering the kids for school, and it was they've been friends for years. So I thought it was a great opportunity for my sister to have a great guy in her life. And I was getting sick and tired of Dave calls. And The Wire started in April. My sister's birthday's in April. Dave's birthday's in April. So you got a ton of Dave chatter on this case. But believe me, I'd go crazy if I was talking about Dave like this all year long.
So that's a no? You did not reference having her ex murdered
Absolutely not.
when you said you've already gone above and beyond?
No, that was me getting sick of dealing with the Dave stuff. As great of a guy as he is, I was still getting sick of it.
When the $1 million offer was conceived, do you recall whose idea that was?
My parents.
Why was the relocation worth $1 million?
Well, it was actually I was going to pay a third, so I looked at it as that way. Why was it worth it?
That's the question.
Because it was going to help my sister out, and it was going to give her a good opportunity for a good job down here, and she was going to be around family, and family's important, so that's why.
Isn't it true that financially you came out ahead on this deal as opposed to if you had coughed up the third of the $1 million offer?
How in the world did I come up ahead? This is the craziest
Financially, you paid $138,000, and you paid $2,000 a month plus the $1,000 payroll amount. You're still over $100,000 ahead financially than if you had coughed up the 333K.
No, I would have been better off paying. And first of all, I never paid for murders. This is a crazy question, but paying $3,000 a month for life is not anything anybody wants to do.
I didn't say anything about paying for a murder. I said you paid $138,000, which you did.
I got extorted for $330,000.
All right. Let's see. The other one that I thought was good. So Katie's is a little longer. Do you want to watch any of that?
No.
You don't? Okay.
I mean, if you have like a good spot.
I mean, the whole thing's kind of good, but let's just watch a little of it. Tell me when you want to cut it. Because it gives you the vibe. It gives you the vibe. Because, I mean, we're going to talk about, like, Katie's the one who, talks about the wet money. Like Katie's really the one who initially pulls Donna into the whole scheme in terms of she's the money person. So I don't know. It's pretty good. Okay. Let's see. So Katie's under cross here. So this is Dan Roshbaum.
I told you I lied in my first and second trial to say.
Again, you lied when you testified that you didn't know anything about or were involved in the murder of Professor Markell, right?
Yes, sir. I told you I lied in my first and second trial to save myself.
Ma'am, we've heard it. If you could just answer the questions. Did
Yes,
you
sir.
lie?
Yes, sir.
You lied when you testified that you knew nothing about Wendy Adelson's divorce.
Yes, sir.
You lied when you said you didn't pick up money from Charlie's house on July 18th.
Yes, sir.
You lied when you said you knew nothing about stapled cash.
Yes, sir.
You lied when you said you didn't bring the money to Sigfredo or Luis Rivera the next day.
Yes, sir.
You lied again when you said you worked as a personal assistant for Charlie, right?
Yes, sir.
You lied repeatedly when you tried to discuss what had happened, what was being spoken at Dolce Vita, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, now let's talk about the lies that you told that the state didn't go over with you. Let's talk about your proffers, your cooperation.
Yes, sir.
So you were interviewed by the state twice in October and November 2022, correct?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, you've met with them a couple times since then, right?
A couple times.
Have you met with them
After?
since? Yeah, after that point?
Probably one time.
You met with Ms. Kappelman?
Yes, yes, sir.
Did Ms. Kappelman ask you about our defense during that meeting?
No, sir.
She didn't ask you about whether, for the first time, whether you ever threatened
No,
Charlie
sir.
Adelson? Now, when you met with them in October and November of 2022, this was after you got your life sentence, right?
Yes, sir.
And you met with them first in Marion County Jail on October 11th, right?
Marion County Jail? No, sir. I've never been in that county.
You met with them in the jail. I got the wrong jail, obviously.
I've never met with them in any jails.
Where did you meet with them?
I was
first time?
already in DOC.
Okay.
In Lowell.
You met with them in prison.
Yes, sir.
Apologies. And the second time, you met with them at the state attorney's office, right? Here in Tallahassee.
Yes, sir.
And both times, Special Agent Sanford was there.
Yes, sir.
Investigator Jason Newland was there.
Yes, sir.
And TPD Investigator Sherry Bennett were there.
Yes, sir.
And they asked you questions.
Yes, sir.
And each time, you told them a version of events that was very different from what you said at your trials, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, during those 6 hours of interviews, you told them about 5 more versions, right?
5 different versions of it?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Oh, so you told them the same thing throughout the 6 hours that you met with them?
I believe so, but I think the first time you can't even visit more than 2 hours, so I don't know where you're getting 6 hours.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but let's look. The first interview started at 9:26 a.m. and it ended at 11:44 a.m., so a little over 2 hours.
Yes, sir.
First interview. Your position right now, what you're telling this jury, is that the same thing you told them in the first interview, you told them in the second interview?
I believe so, yes, sir.
You believe so or you know so?
I know so. I believe so. I believe so.
You absolutely know so.
No, I don't, not verbatim exactly what I said.
Is it true that during the entire first interview, you said you had nothing to do with the murder?
No, sir, I didn't say that.
All right, well, we're going to go through exact quotes and we'll see if your memory can be refreshed.
Yes, sir.
By the way, during any of these interviews, did you give them any documentation, anything new, any text messages, documentation, WhatsApps, any new, as people call it, receipts? Did you give them any new evidence?
No, I'm in prison. I don't have anything.
It was just your words, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about what you said. During the first proffer, which was a little over 2 hours,
Yes, sir.
you raised your hand. They put you under oath, right?
Yes, sir.
And throughout the proffer, the agents, particularly Special Agent Sanford, kept on telling you that you have to tell the truth, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't believe you.
I mean, whatever his reasons are.
Was he
No.
frustrated with you during the interview?
Yes, sir.
In fact, 1 hour and 8 minutes into the proffer, he said to you that you were minimizing your involvement.
What is the objection?
You told that to investigators a year ago. But that's what, on that night, you had no idea that there was a shooting.
Yes, I was partly denying probably still my involvement in it. This is something I've suppressed for a long time, sir.
Now, what's also interesting is when you described July 18th, you said Charlie was panicked.
Yes, sir.
You said he took his Xanax and you took his Xanax.
Yes, sir. He gave me.
You said that he was upset.
I never said he was upset. He was just frantic.
Let's move on to the second proffer.
Yes, sir.
The second proffer was
You
6.
didn't really establish shit.
Recall that?
This is when I came back. I came here.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
And you met with investigators for 3.5 hours this time,
If that's what it states.
from 10:06 in the morning to 1:38 in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
At the beginning of the interview, you told investigators you didn't know why you were there, right?
Yes, I didn't know what I got pulled out for.
And 15 minutes into the interview, Agent Sanford left the room, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't come back.
No, sir.
During the interview, you recall being told that you weren't giving the state anything to make them want to do anything for you.
Repeat that question, sir.
Do you recall that during the interview, you were told that you weren't giving the state anything to make them want to do anything for you?
Who stated that?
Investigator Bennett.
Okay, yes, sir.
She was upset.
I mean, we were just talking about the same thing over again.
When she said that you had a real issue, right?
Not that I can recall. What's the issue?
Well, if you didn't help the state and give them something that they could work with, there was only one way you were ever getting out of prison, and that's in a box.
Why do you keep stating that, sir?
You're in jail for the rest of your life, right?
Yes, sir.
If the state doesn't help you, the only way you're getting out of prison is when you die.
But they never said they were going to help me. I wasn't promised.
That's not my
anything.
question. What's the only way that you're getting out of prison if the state doesn't help you?
I'll die in prison.
During this second proffer, they asked you, you mean to tell me that you had no clue that he came to Tallahassee? Answer, he never told me he was going to Tallahassee. Do you recall saying that you didn't know that Sigfredo Garcia was going to Tallahassee?
Yes, sir. I never knew he went to Tallahassee.
You never knew Sigfredo Garcia went to Tallahassee?
No, sir.
Well, you knew that's where the guy was killed.
During these proffers, you never told the state about monthly payments, did you?
Monthly payments.
That Charlie was making monthly payments to you?
What, the checks from the Adelson Institute?
Yes.
They were aware of that.
How about the cash he was giving you every month?
He wasn't giving me any cash every month.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He wasn't giving you $2,000 of cash every single month that you're heard on the wires trying to accept?
No, sir.
He was just giving you an Adelson Institute check?
Yes, sir. What would the $2,000 be for?
Before he gave you the Adelson Institute checks, you were getting $3,000 a month, right?
No, sir.
It wasn't until 1 hour and 13 minutes in the first proffer that you first admitted that you didn't work for the Adelson Institute, right?
Yes, sir. I lied about it.
In the proffer.
In the proffer, I don't know when I said it, but I lied in my trials about getting those checks from the Adelson Institute. So I said those were checks that I needed to show so that I can get insurance for my children.
You recall them asking you about a meeting with Charlie in the car before Dolce Vita?
Yes, sir.
And you said that you couldn't recall what was discussed?
Yes, sir.
You recall that during the second proffer, you told the state that you didn't know the police were at your door during the wire? And if you had known they were at the door, you would have let them in?
I don't think I mentioned it in that way, but they didn't announce themselves when they were knocking on the door.
In fact, aren't we going to see in the wires that you were hiding from the police?
I was not hiding. I was at home.
Weren't you hiding at home?
From what? I was working from home that day.
Weren't you making a bunch of phone calls to a lot of people saying, the police are at my door, I don't know what to do, I can't answer the door, I'm afraid? Weren't you hiding from them?
Somebody was knocking at the door. They didn't state who they were. So I was calling Sigfredo and nobody was picking up. Then one of his coworkers finally called back and said that there's FBI over there speaking to him and he's going to come by the house.
And he came by the house?
Yes.
and you all discussed how you were going to stay hidden and not answer the door, right?
I didn't discuss anything. They just said that there was like an FBI agent or an agent outside. So I
And
just
you
never
decided
answered.
not to answer the door and let them in, right?
No, why would I let them in?
Let me make sure that we're being clear here.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that the police were outside your door?
I didn't know who was outside my door. I didn't know until his coworker had stated that there was an undercover or an agent outside.
And after he stated that, did you know that there was police outside your door?
They were gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they knocked.
Okay.
And then they were gone.
You didn't stay hidden for over 45 minutes
No,
while
sir.
these phone calls are happening?
I was at home. I just didn't open the door.
Okay.
Come on.
During the entire first proffer and 2/3 of the second proffer, you never said that Charlie did it or ordered it. Isn't that
Charlie's
true?
not happy with it. He's
Not
disappointed
specifically,
the way
no.
this is going.
Now, today you come in here and you talk about how on Halloween, Charlie asked you if there was someone who could hurt his ex-brother-in-law, right?
I stated that on the proffer.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
It took you a while to state it in the proffer, but I admit you did. It took you about an hour and 40 minutes. But today, that's what your testimony was, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know that you had only started dating Charlie Adelson about 2 weeks before Halloween?
Probably. We just started talking. I don't know specifically if it was 2 weeks.
Do you know that at the time of Halloween 2013, Charlie Adelson had absolutely no idea anything about your ex?
I wouldn't know, sir.
Well, let me see if I can refresh your memory.
I mean, 2 weeks and you're already asking the woman to help you murder somebody? I don't know.
Do you recall text messages in November 27th of 2013 where you said to,
Sustained.
Okay.
Please show the witness the document.
well, let me ask some questions first. Isn't it true that Charlie Adelson didn't know about your ex until November 27th, 2013?
I wouldn't know, sir.
And even then, he didn't know much about him?
I wouldn't know.
Let me approach with, what number is it? Defense Exhibit 34. You have it. Text messages.
What am I looking at, sir?
Halloween's in October, right?
Yes, sir.
Did he just show her something in
Now,
November?
you talk about this letter and Charlie printing it up. In all the times in Charlie's house, you ever see him? Does he have a computer? He doesn't own a computer, right?
He had a little office in his house, but I don't know if there was a computer or not. I don't recall.
Do you recall during these interviews that the investigators kept on pushing you whether Charlie gave you money during the trips?
Repeat the question, sir.
Do you recall during these interviews that the investigators kept on pushing you, asking you a lot of questions about whether Charlie Adelson gave you any money before the two men took the trips?
Yes. And I answered them.
I know you did.
Okay.
And it took you 22 minutes left in the second proffer where you finally said he gave you a few $100s before each trip.
Yes, sir.
Repeatedly before then, you couldn't even remember that, right? You were confused as you said it.
No, I could remember it. It was just very hard when I was speaking, especially when I was speaking with Sergeant Sanford in the room because he was frustrated with me. So once he left the room, it was an easier conversation to have and I wasn't so pressured.
It was an easier conversation to have because, in fact, Investigator Bennett started to play the part of Katie Magbanua, right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well,
sir.
she started to testify for you.
No, sir, she did not.
It wasn't mostly her talking and you saying yes?
No, sir.
Isn't it true that it wasn't until an hour and 16 minutes and 31 seconds into the second proffer where you were still continuing to say that you didn't become aware that this was going to be a murder until sometime between the first and second trips to Tallahassee?
Yes, sir. I told you it was very hard for me to admit my part in all of this. I'm sorry.
So 4 hours into your proffers, you were still saying that you didn't know the first trip was for a murder. That's fair to say, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, this whole line of questioning is trying to sell the extortion concept.
You started dating Sigfredo Garcia just after high school.
Yes, sir.
By the time you broke up with him, you had been with Sigfredo on and off for more than a decade.
Yes, sir.
By the way, when you dated Charlie Adelson, he thought you were broken up with Sigfredo Garcia, right?
I was broken up with him.
Well, did you have sexual relations with Sigfredo Garcia while dating Charlie Adelson?
Yes, I did.
Charlie didn't know that, right?
I mean, that's not something I would tell him.
Now, you considered him to
surprised they let
be
this in.
your husband.
Yes, sir.
You met Charlie Adelson at work
Yes, sir.
at a place called SoFi Dental.
Sophie Dental.
Sorry, Sophie Dental.
Yes, sir.
And that was in South Beach.
Yes, sir.
And you started dating in the middle of October of 2013.
In the middle of October? No, we started dating before that.
When did you start dating?
I don't recall the exact date, but it was definitely before October.
If I told you,
September.
do you recall that your first date was at a restaurant kind of in the building?
I believe so, yes.
If I told you that the date of that was October 9th, would that refresh your recollection? Could
Yes,
that be
sir.
right?
Possibly, yes, sir.
Now, when you dated Charlie Adelson, he treated you well.
Yes, sir.
I think you said you didn't know he had money. You knew he had money.
I mean, he wasn't very flashy with it. I know he was well off.
He took you to nice dinners.
Money.
Yes, sir.
That was different than your past relationship, right?
I've been in nice dinners with Sigfredo.
Did Charlie treat you nicer than Sigfredo?
I wouldn't say that he treated me nicer at that time, yes, because I was going through a lot with Sigfredo.
Did Charlie ever lay hands on you?
No, sir.
Did Sigfredo?
We've gotten into arguments, yes.
One where he ripped off your necklace?
No, he's never ripped off any necklace
No?
of mine. No.
Now, at first, Charlie was the pursuer. Is that fair to say? He pursued you.
Yes, sir.
Over time, you became more serious.
I believe so.
And he made it clear to you over time, namely in the spring of 2014, that he didn't want anything different than casual, right?
I mean, I think we were both in agreement with that, yes.
But you had questions about it. You asked him, right?
I believe so.
And he told you, I like the way things are.
Yes, sir.
Now, Sigfredo came to know that you were dating Charlie, correct?
Yes, sir.
And during your second trial, you testified that you told Sigfredo about Charlie to make Sigfredo mad.
Probably.
You wanted to throw it in his face that you were dating a successful dentist, right?
That I was dating somebody, period, because I never really dated anybody after Sigfredo.
Sigfredo hated Charlie.
I mean, yes.
You told Charlie on one occasion, if you see him, run. Isn't that what you told him?
Not that I can recall now.
Is it possible that you told him that?
No, but he would be scared of Sigfredo, yes.
Yeah.
Sigfredo considered you the love of his life, right?
I believe so.
He made it clear to you that he wanted you back and didn't want you to be with Charlie, right?
It's not that he made it clear, but we were trying to work it out for our family.
Now, Charlie talks a lot, right?
Yes, he does.
And he repeats himself over and over.
Yes, sir.
As a traveling periodontist, he's in the car a lot for work, right?
Yes, sir.
And what does he do when he's in the car a lot? Talks on the phone?
Talk on the phone, yes, sir.
And he'd call you a lot on the phone, right?
He would at that time, yes.
And at that time, he would sometimes call you early in the morning, right?
Yes, sir.
He'd call you sometimes in his breaks at work.
Yes, sir.
He'd call you late at night.
Yes, we were dating.
Exactly. He'd talk to you a ton.
Yes, sir.
He talks to his mom a lot on the phone too, right?
I believe so.
Well, you witnessed it, right?
Yes.
You would be with him a lot when he would talk to his mom, right? On the phone.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, you talk on the phone a lot with Sigfredo Garcia, right?
Yes, sir.
And that makes sense because he's the father of your two children, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in 2014, you became aware of Charlie's family issues, right?
Yes, sir.
You heard him talking on the phone a lot to his mom, right?
Yeah, he's always talking to his mom.
And also when you guys would go out, as you know, Charlie likes to talk, right?
Yes, sir.
And so a topic of frequent conversation would be what he had just talked to his mom about, right?
No, he never told me what he was talking to his mom about.
No, so he never told you about the problems that his sister was having? He wouldn't recount those conversations that he was having with his mom?
Not when he's on the phone with his mom. Maybe if we're just, laying down or talking, he'd mention it once in a blue moon.
And you would ask him questions about it, right?
Not really.
Never.
He told you about this TV was cheaper than a Hitman joke many times, right?
Yes, he's made that comment before.
So, I mean, how much do you think Katie would give a shit to hear about Wendy's custody issues, though, really?
Yeah, but this guy is going through this all the time. He's probably is talking about it. Like, his mom won't stop. His mom won't stop. We'll see that from the emails.
Yeah.
His mom wanted them to all put up money. His mom wanted them to bribe him. His mom wanted her to pretend to be Catholic just to scare him out of taking the kids away.
Yeah, there's like 10 more minutes of this, and it's basically, Rashi he's trying to do the best that he can to sell this whole extortion thing. So like the whole line of questioning here is obviously to get it so that Katie knows Wendy's got an issue with her husband. And look, I've got an idea. Like, why don't we whack this dude and then we'll extort Charlie, under the guise that we're gonna frame him for it. So like he really, I mean, from a lawyer's perspective, when I watched him go all in on this thing from beginning to end, it was quite a feat. I didn't think the jury was ever going to buy it, but
How long did they? Do you remember how long they deliberated?
Not that long. What do you guys think? I can't remember. It was not an overly long deliberation. Like I want to say like 3-4 hours, if I remember. But I've covered way too much shit. Yeah, I'll be the judge. Says 3 hours. It was pretty quick considering all the shit.
Yeah,
that went through. All right. So essentially, you've seen the heart of the case against Charlie. The jury clearly didn't buy the extortion thing, and he gets convicted. And there's these phone calls from jail that he starts having with Donna. And that leads us to kind of the next subject.
Wow. How stupid are people? So,
I mean, it's like, these are educated people. You have to know that every fucking word that you utter over a jail phone is recorded.
I mean, it tells you.
It tells you. It tells you. And like in a case like this, you could bet your ass that Georgia or her minions were listening to every single conversation in real time. Somebody was listening to that shit. And ultimately, it leads to Donna's case.
All right. So, I mean, she's ultimately tied through the check she signed to Katie, her part in the whole bump operation. And, even being mentioned in the follow-up recorded conversations of Katie and Charlie at that restaurant. But right before Charlie's trial, she bought a one-way ticket to Vietnam, a no extradition county. The FBI intercepted her at the Miami International before she could board. And that's when she finally gets arrested and charged, and brings us to the recent pretrial rulings in this case. Now, her lawyers argue she was told there wasn't a warrant for arrest. She was told that if there was a warrant, she would be told, and that like her going to Vietnam was nothing. It was meaningless, but the judge is letting it in. So on August 8th, the most recent. Oh,
this is Donna getting picked up at the airport.
No. Oh.
You don't want to say it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
I thought it was kind of boring.
What? It's like her. But Vietnam is such a wonderful place. We just after Charlie got convicted, we just needed to go to my happy place.
She didn't say any of that on this.
No, but she said it later.
I was gonna say there's nothing on this.
There's shit on it. She's talking about I didn't know there was a warrant. We were just going to Vietnam on a one-way ticket in a country that doesn't happen to have extradition to the U.S., We'll just watch a little of it. I mean, her motions about the conditions of the jail were unbelievable. Like talking about an entitled bitch, man. I'm like, woman, you're in jail. This thing they have me sleeping on, my back hurts. I have a back hurt.
I'm sorry.
Harry's got to get those earrings.
The captions are on but not showing up, or
So this is the beginning of the end for Donna.
Yes. If there's anything else on her person that you want to. Do you have her driver's license? I'm sorry? Her driver's license. Yeah.
They know who you are, Donna.
All right, so she's arrested. We get it.
You're no fun. You're just no fun.
I watched that. There was nothing like.
What happens if there's
interesting
people
about
in
it?
the audience that haven't watched it? All right.
But there's nothing. She doesn't say anything. They don't
She
do
said
it.
some shit. She says some shit. It's all right though. All right. So yeah, it gets interesting in terms of some of the pretrial rulings.
Yeah, so I'll go
Okay,
over the ones that just happened on August 8th.
Okay.
I was going to play part of the video of it, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. So there was what they called like new evidence tendered on April 7th of this year. So it was some investigative work and wiretaps of conversations between a jailhouse informant and Donna and her husband, Harvey. So the jailhouse informant is claiming Donna Adelson offered to pay for witness testimony in her upcoming murder trial. I don't know anymore. I don't know if you do about
I
that.
don't.
All right. It sounds like they've kept it kind of like under wraps what it's actually about. But then there was this recorded conversation with her husband. And all I know is that Donna's attorney said in an affidavit that the affidavits the state presented to the judge lied about the content of the conversation between Donna and her husband. And among the false allegations were accusations that the defendant, quote, the defendant and her spouse were engaged in conversations by use of the undersigned cell phone / watch to plan to harm Robert Adelson, Katie, and the mother of the jailhouse snitch. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that because the judge said that they're going to be able to get, like that evidence is going to get in, but they're not going to let any testimony of investigators interpreting the conversations. So that they're not going to allow, but if they lay the proper foundation, these recordings are going to get in. They re-raised evidence of the flight, saying, as I mentioned before, that she was told that there was no warrant. She was told that if they were going to arrest her, that she'd be let know. I don't know why they think that's relevant when you buy a one-way flight to Vietnam.
I mean, we just bought a one-way flight to New Orleans.
We buy one-way flights all the time, so they would be able to see that that's just our lack of planning and lack of knowing what the hell is going to happen and just flying by the seat of our pants. So in any event, the judge said that the jury's going to hear the potential evidence for that and for the stuff above. And he sort of left it at like, well, the jury's going to hear it and we'll see what they do with it. Then there was this whole testimony about her fear of the Latin kings, and the state filed a motion to keep out evidence about the hitmen's Latin King Association, that they were just like trying to muddy them up. But the judge said that line of questioning was going to be allowed and they could ask the witness about his gang membership. So then you've got these emails, and the emails to me are I mean, I guess I don't know all that much other than what we've discussed here tonight, but it's going to bring up a couple of these emails because these are emails from Donna to Wendy. And although they really have nothing to do with proving she had any hand in this murder, what they show is just a really twisted, conniving, manipulative human being. But I have to say, I think the emails show that at least her family didn't think Wendy was had the same type of stop at anything, do anything to get this accomplished.
This
So,
being getting the kids down
getting the
south.
kids back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So which one I want to start with here? All right, here's one from June 13th. You know what? Let me just check the other one. I'm sorry. I should have had this open. What? Oh. God, I need glasses. Can't see a thing. Turn up the brightness. All right. I'll start with the earlier one then. Okay, so this is,
Are you going to put it up?
yeah, from February
What year?
of 2000 and, oh no. So I'm sorry. I'll start with the different one. All right, so this is May of 2013. So this one shows, because one of the issues that the state raised or the defense tried to argue, there's no evidence that she was even reading pleadings, because the state was saying they wanted all the entire divorce file in. The defense was arguing, nah, they can't get the entire divorce file in. And one of the arguments defense made is there's not even any evidence that she was shared any pleadings. So she's saying how she just read this, the title is Memorandum of Law email. So she's talking about Dan's, motion, and that they call him Gibbers. However, Gibbers has made this. She's saying, oh, sorry. I don't know if to prevent any action, your attorney must respond or not. Only you and she know that. However, Gibbers has made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get him whatever he wants. And she's just kind of going on about that. And she's like, the most important part of your divorce is the relocation. I sincerely hope your attorney understands this is your non-negotiable. So she keeps sort of just going on with that she needs Wendy needs to be able to have time with her kids, that he's always on trips, and he thinks he's the most important person in the world. All right. So then she put together this whole brief background. So this one is just like, just her just going on and on about how important the relocation is, and that how it's going to help the kids. And we've got all these papers, and Wendy, you've got to be more aggressive. You've got to do this. You've got to do that.
What makes it relevant in Donna's case is the fact that clearly she knew exactly what was going on in the divorce proceedings. She was clearly reading all of the pleadings. Not only was she reading them, she was writing long diatribe emails, letting Wendy know these are all the things that she has to do, that the relocation is non-negotiable. That in bold. The kid
Right.
must come down.
Right. So she's going on like, you can't be so nice to him. You let him, you tell him you'll take the kids when he wants to go out of town. That's making it easier for him. It's enabling you having to stay there. He's like, she says, you'll be showing him that anytime he has a meeting and he wants to go to, that's fine. You'll watch the boys. That's whole part of the relocation for you and the children. if he can continue to attend all these meetings he wants to, and then arrange for frequent and extended visitation with the boys. So she's like, stop doing it so you can hold it over his head. And another bribe to get him to allow you to relocate should be the offer of plane tickets. So this one's just like, I'm too angry to write anymore. I'm going to shower, wash my hair, get ready for the boys to come. Dad said he'll look at the papers tonight or over the weekend. He has info on what Danny had in his IRA and 401k. So there's that one. And then, whoops.
I mean, in terms of importance, do you think that these are critical?
Oh, this next one's crazy. Okay. So this is June 25th of 2013. Okay. So she's telling her, never, never give up. It's time to take action, take control of your life. Let's show this fuck what will make him absolutely miserable. His weak points: money, religion, control. You have 5 weeks before your court date. I know you have a job that keeps you busy. However, the rest of your life, and consequently Dad's and mine, even Charlie's, will be affected at how well you can perform/act before July 31st. You can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers has not beaten the Adelson family yet. You have a very strong family behind you. Just remember that. Dad and I have done everything we could to try to help you for the last 10 months. Now it's time to help yourself. We believe that Jibbers will be saying, stop this. And you're telling him, you wanted me in Tallahassee. My children are going to fit in to the Bible Belt. They're going to church every time I have them. I have them privately tutored at home to get them caught up for Sunday school classes, registered for the fall. The class times coincide with the services I'll be attending. Tell them you have a new outlook on life, new hope, and that you'd like to go to heaven. Perhaps he will join you and the boys at church. So she's having him say this because these are Jewish families, and she wants to infuriate him. You leave me in Tennessee. This is what Donna wants Wendy to say. I am getting my kids in church. They can't fit in here. They're going to Bibles. Oh, Tallahassee, right.
Yeah.
Take a photo of the boys dressed nicely standing at the front door by the sign of the Tallahassee church. Then change your Facebook status so everyone will see it. Perhaps a line under the photo, new beginnings in Tallahassee, might be nice. Within minutes, Jibbert should either see this, and he will be getting calls from his friends and acquaintances. How happy do you think he will be? So then she actually wants him to do this. Make arrangements to get the boys caught up with a private tutor, a teenage Catholic church member who will come to the house and teach the young men about Jesus. If you don't have time to arrange for this to happen, I will happily do it for you. She or he will serve as a good babysitter assistant for you when you're preparing dinner. Let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church, and you'll certainly invite him to the event. Let him know that the Catholic Church is a big part of your life now with the boys, and you'd like to see him part of it. As long as he wants you to remain in Tallahassee, the boys will be involved with you in the church-related activities and ceremonies. Let him get used to it. I've already checked this out, and a baptism can be arranged within 2 weeks. So we can send out invites to Jibbers, his parents, sister, and anyone else you want to invite. I'm looking into summer camp programs for the boys. We will pay for it, even if they only end up going a few days. Register them for toddler classes of church. I've looked into this. Even if they don't go, we can show Jibbers that they're already enrolled. And you cannot tell anyone this is an act. Somehow it will get back to Jibbers. Take control from him. Get to him psychologically. He's going to want you to stop this. So now you have an opportunity to make him angry. We want him so ticked off that he realizes he could lose control of his kids. We plan to make him a financial offer that will allow this relocation. You need to work this plan, and we'll help you through it so that it may affect how much we offer to him. Maybe he'd be willing to let you relocate if he knew his children would attend a private Hebrew academy like Donna Klein in Boca, or perhaps he'd like to invite them to a Christmas party at their other Sunday school. So, Dad and I have changed our lives over this year to support you. You know, it's time for you to show us you can put on the performance of a lifetime for the next few weeks. Please call us, you know, da 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 da. So then you've got
This shit should have said burn after reading.
right.
He is relentless. Relentless.
Then you got
I
one the
mean-
next day. And this is the one that I think shows that the family didn't think Wendy had
The
the same
Stones. Yeah,
right.
the same
right.
makeup. Same
Right.
makeup.
All right, dear Wendy, since neither of us feel up to talking, let me share with you what we're feeling as far as your response. So that's like him and the family. She's just complaining that they didn't know what the judge was going to do, her and her lawyer. She's been paying this lawyer all this money. Meanwhile, you guys have no idea what she's going to do. She didn't even bother calling Jibbers Dan to the stand. Talking about budget cuts and childcare, like all they care about is if this kid is abusing him. So our point is obviously you and Kristen haven't figured out the judge so far. You were both shocked at a rapid decision based on nothing that was presented. So how do you think at this point you can figure out what the judge will say regarding your decision to introduce Christianity into the boy's life? People go to prison and change their religion all the time. People go through difficult times and find Jesus. Jesus was Jewish. He had positive teaching. He gives people hopes. And best of all, you get to go to heaven in the end. Sounds good to me. Obviously, it will sound good to Judge Hobbs. She goes to church. There were multiple donations from her church pastors and ministries on her financial contribution website. She's researching everything.
Yeah.
She's a Southern Black lady. How do you know it won't be music to her ears to hear this? So at the same time, it shows like that Wendy's rationale for this, which should have been, Mom, you're crazy. I'm not teaching my kid. I'm not forcing my kids into Christianity just to get it back at my husband. But instead, she's like worried about losing Jewish holidays. Like, well, then they're going to split up the holidays. I'm going to get the Catholic ones. He's going to get the Jewish ones. So this is what they're talking about there. Like, oh, as far as you're worried about that, don't worry. You can tell the judge, like, they're still Jewish too. My family celebrates Jewish holidays. But secondly, so what if by some crazy stance the judge says, okay, Jibbers, you can have all the Jewish holidays. Then if our bribe doesn't work, and that's, I think, all the money, and we're going to send him to Jewish, right?
Mm-hmm.
You tell him that the year that you'll take the kids out of Sunday school at church and cancel their upcoming baptism if he shares those dates with you. If not,
she's fucking unhinged. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe that they were going to offer him $1 million.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about right there. Charlie's thing. Charlie brought up a good point. He said that Americans were dropped behind enemy's lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get. So they're trying to manipulate her and force her to do what they want. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up at Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance that would show Jibbers that he is not in control. If your children are baptized, it doesn't make them Christian. Ben and Lincoln aren't really pirates because they dress up like Jake the Pirate. It's an act. You got into this mess with Jibbers by being so complacent and non-confrontational with him. And she talks about, paying the lawyer, You have to stand up to this fucker. Why not fight? We're talking about a lifetime of this. You have the boys for a very limited number of days before the mediation takes place. This is all part of an act. Please rethink this. We are willing to help you accomplish this. This And that's all this is, Wendy, an act of defiance that will put a scare into this jackass. It will infuriate him. It won't infuriate a judge that you found Jesus. She can't comment on your religion. So she says you need to see the bigger picture. It's not a pretty picture. You got to help yourself. Why can't you just do this? The extremism that Dan is already teaching the boys is nothing more than brainwashing. Da 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 da. And she gives this whole.
She says some crazy shit that people that eat shrimp are bad.
Wendy, this is all about a negotiating. After consulting with 2 attorneys who are excellent negotiators, one of whom we will most likely hire for the financial offer, we're getting the same advice. You must take something from him that he wants. When you intelligently negotiate in mediation, you pretend you want the house, even if you don't. You pretend you want the car, even if you don't. You want the ring, da da da. You want the kids in Catholic school, even if you don't. It's just a business of clever negotiation. It's not what you or we are familiar with, but people in this business do it all the time. Wendy, you don't manipulate people. You're sweet and kind and caring. Jibbers is a manipulator. You just need to play a role. What you're doing is jockeying for a position in the end. If you do this and it doesn't get the results we're hoping for, then you can't blame yourself. You can feel good that you did everything you could. You could. I'm not saying that we're not going to continue with hiring an attorney to negotiate and make a financial offer. I don't think you realize the type of offer we're considering. We're planning on you, Charlie, and Dad and not going as high as equal parts in $1 million offer. Obviously, more chits on our side, the better our chances are that we won't have to go that high. You have to show that you're doing your part in this too. We are a team. We can't do this without your help. One possibility in lieu of that much money, obviously we start much lower, is offering not just taking them out of church, but negotiating a settlement could possibly offer the boys a private education in the Jewish school. So it's just showing like she's literally, saying that like, you're not seeing the big picture. You're not fighting hard enough. You're not doing things enough. You're sweet and kind and you're not manipulative. Da, 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 da. So that's kind of where I thought they didn't think that she had the stones for this. And I don't know that they would share it with her, but
I mean, if I'm Wendy Adelson's attorney, and granted, we have not seen the responses to her mother, which is interesting.
right.
Right. So, but like, I'll be the judge, says Allie, Donna's not around Dan that often. How do you think Donna got so worked up? Because I'll be the judge because Donna was getting all the pleadings. She was seeing how this was developing. Like, so she, and she clearly has an idea of what Wendy is and what Wendy's not doing in terms of pushing a narrative, playing the game, doing the things that you have to do in a high powered, high money, high leverage divorce and custody fight. Like she doesn't think Wendy's doing all the shit that she needs to be doing.
And I think this paragraph here
with Allie that
well, look at this one before you comment.
This is extremely damaging to Donna and extremely helpful to Wendy.
In an understated sort of way. She's like, this paragraph here, everyone has a price. Now is the time to start. You said this divorce is not about winning and losing, that it's not a competition. So these are the kind of things that according to this, Wendy's saying back in response to Donna and or Charlie. You've already lost relocation according to the legal system. It is about winning and losing. We're trying to get a win. You deserve it. You deserve so much more than a family than life without a family teaching in Tallahassee. If you don't stand up and take a chance, you don't stand a chance. There was this, here it is. And then there's this. This is how manipulative. Grandma was one tough and very smart lady. I think about her advice all the time. And I think about what advice this intelligent woman, a wonderful reader of people who loved you more than words could ever express would say to you. She'd tell you to fight with every bone in your body, fight for yourself, your boys, and for the best possible life. And in the very beginning, this started with remember what's on your necklace. Or was that another one where she said, remember what's on your necklace? And it was, again, a reference to something that the grandmom said. So clearly her and the grandmother had a very close relationship.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, ultimately, in terms of the defense, I mean, Donna is clearly going to say that all the payments were legitimate work and that her trip to Vietnam was for travel, not escape, like that whole thing where, that's her happy place, that she loves Vietnam. It's just a whole different vibe there. There's a place, and they're going to hammer away at the fact that there's no recording of Donna explicitly agreeing to a hit, and to suggest the state's key witnesses like Katie are all self-serving. Now, I mean, that's essentially just poking holes. Do I think it's gonna prevail? No, I don't. I mean, could the fact that she's an old woman help her? Maybe. I think she's going to go down on it. I think that her consciousness of guilt shit is overpowering. It's like they're terrible criminals. They're just terrible, terrible criminals. Like the shit that she did and said after Charlie's conviction is some of the most powerful evidence that they have. Because like there is this aspect that Donna was the money woman, that Charlie, because there was this part of the testimony that we didn't hear regarding Katie talking about how Roshbaum had asked her if Charlie ever kept cash in his safe, and she's like, I don't think that he did. And if he did, it wasn't anywhere near $100,000. And that there was this text that exists wherein Donna says, I'm down there, and he goes down and he comes back and he's got this money and it's all wet and it was moldy. And the thought is that Donna was literally trying to wash all of her DNA off it so they couldn't connect the money to her. So like that shit's all going to come in. I think Donna's going to go down, certainly. And to me, those emails are super powerful for all the reasons that you said. They show this woman was running shit. She is Grandma Gotti. She is the head of the family. And these kids are like, Charlie's fucking beholden to her. Like Charlie has no ability to break away from her mother. Wendy seems to be able to ignore her mom a little bit more than Charlie was ever able to. It's like you said, I don't know what the emails, I'll be the judge.
Right. And I'm not saying that Wendy didn't know. I'm just saying some of that speaks to they might not have told her what they were doing.
Well, here's my response to you. I'll be the judge. I think if the emails from Wendy were complicit.
Right. And if the email's back, like I said, if the email's back or mom, no, I don't want to do that because the judge might take away all the Jewish holidays. But, she also might be telling her mom what she thinks is going to make a difference to her mom. Well, mom, if we pull this trick that you want, the judge is going to take away all my Jewish holidays and just give me the Catholic ones. Or was that how she felt? Not like, no, I'm not doing this insane thing. That's not healthy for my children. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I'm sure that based on the kid's relationship with Donna, that it's a lot of placating.
Right.
Just trying to say, okay, I hear you. These are my concerns, though. Like pushing back gently.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I've said this before. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get Wendy. I like the fact that she drove by the crime scene, with this whole liquor store run, which if she takes the route going by Dan's place, it's longer because there's another route to the same liquor store.
Why are you going to drive by right when a murder's happening?
I mean, it's sus. It's sus, but is it enough to convict her?
I think it could be you could also take it the other way and say, why would she drive by if she knows a murder's happening? She's supposed to be clear along the other side, nowhere near there, so she's not implicated.
I mean, why would Donna talk to Charlie while he's on a fucking jail phone about the case and about like sensitive shit that they know that they're going to be listening to? Why would Donna buy a one-way ticket to fucking Vietnam right after her kid gets convicted?
Right.
You
At
know, I
least
mean,
buy
like
a round trip ticket, even if you're not coming back.
you're trying to, or yeah, one-way ticket. Like, why would she be doing like these are not good criminals. You know, they are not the masterminds that they think they are. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, we all know that Georgia firmly believes because it's hard to imagine a scenario wherein Wendy either doesn't know or wasn't behind it in some way, shape, or form, or didn't sign off on it.
And there's,
That's
not
a
good
hard
facts.
thing to believe. But when I hadn't seen those emails to me are powerful proof that just how much this woman runs her family with an iron fist. Like she is the matriarch. Like no one fucks with her. You know what I mean? Like she runs shit. Even with her fully grown adult professional children, she runs shit.
Right.
You know, I mean, and there are people like that in terms of family patriarchs or matriarchs that run shit. No matter how old their kids are, they are beholden to their parents. And I mean, like you weren't there this weekend, but like when our friend was telling us the story about how terrified to tell his parents that he was getting divorced from his wife, like terrified. Because like our family doesn't do divorce. It went on for years. Parents can have that kind of coercive control over their kids. It's just I don't know. We'll see. Donna's going to go down. I feel pretty confident about that. But there's going to be a lot. It's going to be a different trial than Charlie's. It's going to be a really, really interesting, fascinating trial. And and the word on the street is that Donna's going to testify. Like these Adelsons, they think they can talk their way out of this shit.
I can't
Like,
imagine this
to a
woman
person.
doesn't testify in a million years.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna testify. She's gonna get up there, try to.
So
weave
my
the tale.
understanding is that they filed a motion for a change of venue, which is reserved and can be renewed after a good faith attempt at seating a jury. So we'll see how that goes. It seems unlikely after all of that, but if they really can't seat a jury, they've got no choice.
Wait, Island Girl, what the round trip tickets to Vietnam were 23 grand, so that's why they went with the one wayers. I mean, I've been there. I'm like, yeah, the round trip's pretty expensive. Like maybe we'll get lucky. We'll do the one way and then I'll check intermittently while we're on the trip and maybe they'll drop. I mean,
Tammy Martin says, "Bring Donna her water pick and floss, damn it."
Oh yeah, that was her sniveling during she had a couple of different hearings regarding her conditions in jail, and she just wasn't enjoying jail very much. She did not like jail. She wasn't comfortable.
History and Homicide's been a member for 5 months. Thanks for your generosity.
Thank you. And
thanks for covering this. Sorry, Jay bro. Is J-Bo, sorry.
Wow.
I haven't seen Jay in any chats recently.
I know Jay's like full on Big Brother tweeting. That seemed like he's moved. I think he met. I haven't hit him up yet. Like I mean, his thought like this was his baby.
Well,
Like,
yeah, we got to reach out and see when he wants to. He's got to at some point come on with it. Lieutenant Pez Dispenser Tully says, "It always feels like Friday night to me when you two are on in the evening. Is every single person in this dramedy out of their mind?"
Seems like it. Seems like it.
The therapist says, "Y'all thumbnails lately are on point. A+."
That is all Mandy Joe.
You got an A+, Mandy. Amanda thank you for the super sticker. Now, I don't remember what you were saying at this point for Control F yourself.
That's when you were telling me how to pull up the.
That's right.
Be able to search for a term.
Control F yourself. Julio, member for 6 months. Thanks for your generosity. Oh, we mentioned that. I thought a bump was white power.
Indeed.
What does Paul Youngs and Britt Bellamar get, babe?
Family hugs. Welcome to the family. We love you guys. We love our members. And we are long overdue for a members only, by the way.
Yes.
Lady.
This was not supposed to turn into a 2.5 hour live. I'm very disappointed in this.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Massey 66, member for 1 month. Good morning from Australia.
Oof,
Yes,
painful.
good morning. And look at that. Jennifer J25, member for 22 months.
OG.
OG. That's, I think, before we even putting out content. It was just up there.
Yeah.
She must have been following the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. It was right around there. But that's OG. Like, because I think I started the channel in 2021 when I started the straight up audio podcast, but we didn't put anything up. I think Darren ended up putting up like the first 2 episodes of Gacy that he like stuck pictures on so that there was kind of a video along with the audio. But in terms of us actually starting to put content, it coincided with right around when Richard Allen got arrested. That's when we started doing lives. So that was really kind of when we jumped full in on the YouTube-ness. So, all right. I think that'll do it for tonight. I hope you guys found it helpful. It was a good primer / refresher for this trial, which is going to be, there's going to be a lot of coverage. I think Allie and I will probably be pretty entertaining during the trial. So definitely check us out when this thing goes down. Member for 15 months, another OG, Gen X lawyer. We love you. Tomorrow, I haven't seen Mandy Jo in here tonight. I don't know. She might be momming. I'm thinking about doing a Felonious Friday tomorrow during the day, which is kind of like there's a lot of shit going on, like there always is in the true crime world. We have so many things going on. And like, I'd like to talk about all of them a little bit, kind of just dip in. I think there's
keep an eye out for an announcement. It might be something tomorrow.
Indeed.
Thank you, people, babe.
All right, y'all. We love you. Thank you so much, mods. Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Tracy, I asked her to put everything together and she got us all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah, I should stick Tracy's timeline back up.
Yeah, Tracy did a lot of work. She sent like kind of like the players had kind of like who they were, what they did, what they got convicted of, what they said. She just did a lot of amazing things. She found
a lot of good work.
She always does. She's amazing. Yeah, it's a good timeline. It's a good timeline. You blew it up so big that nobody can even see what the hell it says. But yeah, that's it. I mean, this thing's been going 11 years.
So this says that. So maybe I had Katie arrested in May, but I guess I was wrong. Garcia was arrested in May. Luis Rivera arrested and charged June. Now he was already in custody, in a federal custody. So I think he had given a proffer before.
And all the way in October, Katie gets picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, building the case.
October 4th, that's when he pled to 2nd-degree murder. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. He ended up, I believe, oh yeah, she put it right there. He got 19 years.
Yep.
I mean, that was a sweetheart deal for him.
Yeah.
That's always the thing. Like when you have multiple people involved, you're always trying to get that one who's racing to get the deal. Because once one of them folds, that's it.
Right. So Charlie is arrested April of 2022 before the retrial of Katie.
Right.
And then they did her retrial first. And she said it was 8 hours of deliberation for Katie. That's a lot longer than Charlie got.
Chuck the motherfucker, man.
And she put it right in here. On November 6, 2023, after 3 hours of deliberation, a jury found Charlie Adelson guilty of murder, conspiracy, and solicitation, sentenced to prison 60 years. Life plus 60 years. November 13, Donna was arrested at the airport. And November 15th, grand jury indicts Donna for Dan Markle's murder.
Donna. All right. All right. So that's it.
Yes, back to the thanking. Sorry.
Yes. All right. Debbie, thank you for covering this. You're the best. No, Debbie, you're the best. And family hug for being a member. All right, y'all. We love you. Thank you so much. Don't forget, please share, like, subscribe. I have to say, I'm incredibly disappointed that yesterday's live where we had Nick Patel, the actual guy who lived a nightmare, an absolute nightmare for 6 months of his life in terms of this case down in Georgia where he was accused of trying to kidnap this kid out of a Walmart, spent 2 hours with us telling the entire story, has only gotten like 5,000 views. It's unbelievable to me. It's such a cautionary tale. It's another example of just how damn important defense attorneys in this country are, because that is a really, really scary story. I highly recommend, if you haven't watched it, it's a great live. It's a great live. We give you all the stuff. We've got the pleadings. We've got Mick. We've got the video from Wall. It's all in there. It's a really, really compelling live. You know, I bounce around on YouTube quite a bit, and I don't, you know, I don't know that I've seen anything that's better. I think there's stuff that's equally interesting, but you know, I mean, like,
watched it all.
you get people to just throw interrogation videos up, don't say a goddamn word, and they get 1 million hits on it. It's crazy to me. I mean, maybe we should start doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I just dip out and then we just start throwing videos up of shit. We'll just start doing a bunch of FOIAs and we'll just throw them up and we'll be like, yeah, this is super easy. We don't have to do shit. We'll just put a big thumbnail with some kind of like explosive language on there. You know, lawyer punches client in face. Cop gets roasted on this, you know, all that shit. And we'll get 1 million hits and then we'll call it a day. So, all right.
Thanks again, Tracy. And thanks, Mandy.
We love you guys. And all of our mods. We love you so much. And I have a feeling I'll see y'all tomorrow. So thank you guys, because without you, I am just an old man.
Sitting around talking to his wife.
Beep.